So where are we right now? We've actually, honestly, completed all the goals here. We have destroyed or subdued all competition. Those that exist really only exist on paper. We can check here corporate details, check all their firms. At best, some of them might have a single R&D center or single mine. GWC is researching, what was that, beds or cheese or something? We can actually check, can't we? Look at that, they're trying to make the best cheese around. Give them 10 years and maybe they will. They won't get 10 years. What else is floating around out there? Oh, Kislev has a TV station, which is going to make them bankrupt because it doesn't make them any money at all. And there's another R&D center. The Ravens are the only other company of note out there. There we go, Dali State is also going to go bankrupt because no one's using their newspaper. Yeah, the Ravens are an interesting one. Fortunately, I now know that they will eventually IPO. I thought that maybe telecom companies never IPO because telecom is necessary for most digital industry. But I've actually ran this hands-off for a while to test it, and yes, they will at some point, at some random point, they will IPO sooner or later, and they're going to be monstrously expensive to buy up. So I'll try to be on that when the time comes. So with that done, we also have industry set up for damn near everything. Maybe there are some little bits of demand that aren't filled, but across the board, generally, what I'm looking at here is this yellow bar compared to this would-be orange bar, and it's only ever a problem if the orange exceeds the yellow. And these mega factories pump out so much that just about nothing is at risk. Some things, though, don't produce enough and will inflate that production as is needed, although I don't think any raw materials are in that boat. We'll have to check, though. So we'll make sure that everything is still being produced, but where do we go from there, since we have everything else taken care of? I mean, every industry. Do we have it viewable? I'm sure there is somewhere, and I keep forgetting how. Dominance, yes, forget your dominance, look at my dominance. We are number one in retailing, manufacturing, farming, raw material, real estate, truly everything. The only thing that we're competed on is telecom, because the Ravens cannot be privately bought out. But when they IPO, I'll be able to destroy them. And then every good, I can't think of anything here that won't say that we're first rate in. I mean, if there was anything that said something other than first, then that would be cause for concern. But no, we have it completely dominated. Which was the goal of it, and I could wrap it up there, but I actually want to go to the next stage of the game, much like I did with Patrician 4. I mean, it wasn't too hard to become insanely rich and powerful in Patty 4. But there's a fairly undocumented part of the game, which is the city growing element, and I've had to poke around at the game and figure out quite a few things about it. Because ideally, it's not just that we have this domination. I would like to be able to fill up the map with places for people to live, places for people to work, and just, you know, push it to the extreme there. I'm not sure I'll be able to, all things considered, but I'm going to damn well try. So now what the game is largely boiling down to is the management of the cities. Jake, we need EU4 in this channel. Do you remember legendary Hissin Kaifa run? I miss old times, says Tiny Colossus. Yes, we all miss the old times, but we should be glad that they happened, not sad that they're gone. I maintain that I've done everything in EU4 that I could care to do, so I don't feel any gravitation back to it, although I will be playing Hearts of Iron 4 later on today. Okay, back to the company town though. New concerns though, it's not really a concern but whether or not I'm going to make a profit anymore, right? I make $100 billion in profit annually, and that'll go up and down as recessions and boom times come and go. But I don't think I'm ever going to be in a loss situation, or at least not for any length of time. The cities, on the other hand, are a different beast entirely. I don't think I can directly pay money into the cities aside from just buying land. So what I need to now do is make sure that the cities are all profitable in their own way. Otherwise, I'm gonna get turfed out as mayor there. So Grimsby and Chengdu? Why Chengdu? Should be Grimsby and Vancouver. Oh, right. This is misleading because I bought a lot of land. Yeah, the land buying is showing up here. Ignoring that, Grimsby and Vancouver are two very successful cities financially because they make a huge amount off me in terms of corporate profit tax. Because where I make my profit largely is in my internet company Slick Luigi's, which handles all e-commerce. Look at that, it made $40 billion in the past year. and we can actually see that profit tax of 5 billion on the year to date. Last year, yeah, well, we're in October, so go figure. So that's where the tax income's coming in. In Grimsby, they're making boondollar off of our profitable bank and our profitable insurance company, which is, oh, good lord, 25 billion. Looks good, and those premiums just going up and up. It's what I like to see. That's going to become a problem for Chengdu, Toulouse, and Sydney, because there's not really profitable ventures going on here. The factories don't make a profit because they sell their goods at cost to whoever is distributing them. In this case, it's just e-commerce, isn't it? Yeah, because there are no customers for other than e-commerce. If we look over here, there is no retail demand being fulfilled, not even any production demand being fulfilled in any of the cities, because it's all here on the e-commerce where we are dominating. I like to see that. I don't think I'd want to go for 100% here because I'd have to lower prices to make sure everybody's buying it up. I think I'd rather make fatter money than have lower prices. There's ups and downs to this. For e-commerce, I think you can only have one price that applies to everywhere unless you have different factories making them. And it wouldn't be unthinkable to make one factory in each city, but that's like 600 plus factories, no thank you. So what am I going to do with this wealth of information? Well, there's a lot more information to dip into, we'll get there. I am going to, well, for one, I've got to save at this point, so if my belief is completely wrong, I could always come back to here. I'd rather not, though. But I'm thinking, in keeping with the whole hellscape idea, I'm going to get rid of every shop that I have, because, yeah, why? Because they take up a lot of space, they're a lot to organize, and they don't necessarily make me more money than I make just selling through e-commerce. Take this carton of silk, this soy milk, for example. It gets sold off at $14 here in the store, but if we look at where it's being made here, it's being sold on e-commerce for $6.51, and it doesn't need any cost of transportation. So that's actually quite a big change in price. Most of the places I've looked at before haven't been so bad. So is it $6.16 for this? Do I have a place that's selling that retail? Oh no, I don't. Bad example then. Bad to have an idea and then have an example that just completely turfs that out, isn't it? $11 for my spaghetti. Wrong one to look at. Oh, I don't even have anyone selling at retail. Point is, I think I'll be stepping away from retail, getting rid of all my shops, and everybody who wants a good has to order it through Slick Luigi's, which is our version of Amazon. That's going to craft a bit of a hellscape, but I'm sure it's a hellscape we can live with. On top of that, I need to get rid of things that I no longer need, and most of that is my R&D. We have R&D over 100 in just about everything we've been researching, so there is absolutely no imperative to research any more than that. I'm saying that, but I'm suddenly noticing this bed of mine. Oh god, we got that 10-year tech on the bed, didn't we? Have you killed off all the other builds other than yours? Pretty much. The only things that really survive on the map are some government-owned things I can't get rid of, like a stock exchange and an information center. Government-owned social buildings like schools and police stations and hospitals. And mansions, because I can't get rid of mansions. I can only get rid of a mansion if it's put up for sale, and that's something that AI chooses to do. I think I'll just live with the fact that there are mansions like nail houses on the map. So, need to get to this. How am I going to get to all this? Do I actually have a subsidiary right now? Because that's the first thing I'd like to take care of. I got a Lose Lobby and I got Prome under me. What kind of corporations are they? Prome is into... There we go. Prome is into stock. And they have security, so I'd rather not burden them right now. What's the other subsidiary of mine? The Lose Lobby. Isn't the Lose Lobby the one that has done nothing this whole time? Exactly that. How much under me is the Lose Lobby? How much of their stock do I own? Lose Lobby, I own 60% of them. I might just buy them out completely. Well, not completely. All I need to do is give them get 75% of their everything. I think that's what I'll do. So I just need to go to Shadow and start buying up his ridiculously cheap stocks because the lose lobby is useless. And I'm going to essentially kill the lose lobby. At least that is the plan. So now that I have this, do I have the ability to transfer this firm to... No? Oh yeah, there we go. Lose lobby. Excellent. So I would quite like to... Corporate details... Transfer from my company all of my R&D centers. I want them all, except for one. I want that bed one for myself. Troubling thing is finding the bed one, because it doesn't give you information on what they're doing here. Maybe I could go to it, label it, and then pick it out from that list of all the other ones, because these R&D centers are costing me 12 million each per year, and I have got 162 of them. And again, research far away over 100 is useless unless you have competition who you need to stay ahead of. All I need to care about is me relative to local competition, and they never go over 100 to my knowledge. So, yeah. I want to keep you. I want that bed. So what am I going to do? What did I just call you? Just call you like... The bed R&D. So I can pick that one out. So let's go and transfer our R&D things. This is just to save me some money here. So the goal is an e-commerce Amazon company town with piss poor wages. I would actually like the wages to be high. I've got a bit of a problem with unemployment that I'm going to have to tackle, but we'll get there once we ditch all these R&D centers. Curiously, how much would it cost to transfer all of these? Excuse me? 300 billion? Okay, right, that's all of my everything. No. Unselect everything. Just the R&D centers, please. Oh god. The game thinks my assets are worth 300 billion. Well, that's lovely, isn't it? I would take that money and run in a heartbeat. My R&D centers alone, they believe... Well, the fair market value is 5 billion. I can't do a cash injection into Lose Lobby unless I own their company entirely. I think that's worth it though, because I'm going to be getting the money back in terms of shares anyway. It's just going to make it a bit more expensive to buy them out. So I'll give them that. Oh, one thing might be, why don't you just make a new subsidiary exactly for this? I found that the game has a limit on companies. The maximum number of corporations allowed in the game has been reached. It's not possible to start a new subsidiary company at this point. We have fewer corporations than we did at the start of the game. So I think the game actually has a limit on how many can be created. So maybe when I kill these off, no more will spawn. And I don't think that's set in a limit by how many corporations... well, the long list of like 90 plus corporations I have in the file. I'm not entirely sure though. Jake once again hitting limits of the game. I find it quite enjoyable. Right, so, as I said, I need to buy them out, cash inject them, and then give them my R&D centers and tell them not to tear them down. I'm using Lose Lobby because they do literally nothing else, so let's just buy all these shares off of Shadow. I'm really pumping up that price of the stock, but it's nothing significant, because this is just costing millions, not billions. JC Denton doesn't want to sell, but I'm sure if we offer him a ridiculous amount of money, there we go, he wants $105 per share. Okay, and then we'll get the last bunch of it. 187, there we go. Now I completely own the Lose Lobby. Cost a lot of money, but that made JC Denton and Shadow very rich individuals. Now I can go and do a cash injection. Capital injection, there we go. 1, 2, 3... That'll take them up to 5 billion. So there you go, custom nation... Wait, wrong one. Lose Lobby. Whew, don't want to accidentally... all my money to the wrong place. It's a shame I can't do it a little tighter than that. But there you go. Now they got the 5 billion. And now I can go to my firms and transfer the R&D centers, all of them except for the bed one. Now I need to find the... Oh, it's right at the bottom here. The bed R&D. Deselect that because I want to keep it. And one thing worth considering is there any other R&D that for some reason I would want to keep? I'm keeping all of my software development stuff, because I think every time you put out a new version of it, it creates more demand for it. So I want to constantly be researching this stuff, despite the costs, but it's nowhere near as high as R&D costs here. It's like half the amount. All of my R&D I think is either in Grimsby or Vancouver, and in a way it'll be nice to be getting rid of all this stuff. So I don't need all these advancements from an internet company, there's no competition to fight against, and a lot of this stuff, yeah, surplus to requirements. So again, we'll take all of this, we will transfer selected firms to the lose lobby. Are you sure? Yes, I'm quite sure. And now we go to the lose lobby and we make sure that they operate the way we want them to, which is essentially not to do anything. Scope of production, absolutely nothing. I don't really care what you do here, but financially, do not issue shares, do not close these down. I want you to go bankrupt, and then I'm just gonna be done with you, because all this is gonna cost you more money than you can reasonably afford. I mean, they got 5. Actually, I could take out the rest of your money, couldn't I? I could go straight over to you on financial actions, and then I can set the dividend at 100%, and then I can do a special dividend of all your remaining money. There we go. Lovely. So now they have no money, and they will go bankrupt, and that will liquidate all these R&D centers, and I might stand to make a bit of money off of that, compared to destroying them myself. I watched a playthrough of the Plutonian experiment after last week's weekly one-shot. I gotta say, you never had a chance. Yeah, that's the consensus. I'm a bit bummed out about that, but what are you gonna do? Right, well what I'm gonna do is unpause and see that this actually works for me. There we go. Subsidiary lose lobby is out of cash. What would you like to do? Well, we're just gonna declare bankruptcy and that will instantly remove all these R&D centers. And I might even make some money off of it. So I've got 27 billion now. And now I've got 30 billion. Well, that was rather nice. It didn't cost me anywhere near that to buy up the stock. So, lucky me. Man, it's good to be the best. That clears away all those troublesome R&D centers. I would have hated to go around and destroy them all myself. And I have kept the one R&D center that I actually care about. So I'm going to... Hold on, I don't own this land anymore. Maybe I should change that. Because one thing that did do was it got rid of land that, you know, I'd rather own for myself. I still like having this as my own Silicon Islandy whatever. Don't know what the right term for it is, but where we do a lot of our high-tech stuff. So let's make sure I own all of this. Thank you kindly. That way nobody else can be building on it. And I'm going to migrate you over here. And although I just said, haha, now I've gotten rid of all those pesky R&D centers, now I actually want a whole lot more R&D centers. Because there are things that I want to make sure that I have the research constantly going up for, at least until it hits 100 plus, and then I can just go and destroy these some more. So I will do exactly that. I don't know how many different products I need to big up, but I want to be ready for it. So could I use the lesser known duplication thing? And yeah, I know this seems silly to destroy them all, only to rebuild them, but this way it clears them out and I actually got something back on it. It's a bit more pesky to go and manually fire everybody and bring in new teams. So I need to figure out what exactly I need to have better tech on. And actually I don't know the best way to check that. Because there's certainly a lot of apparel and things that I'm making now, which I never had the tech to make good stuff of, but I don't know if I can get a good overview of my technology for that. There's certainly corporate details, tech, product, and there's a lot of things that I don't have particularly good tech for. Some things I do have, like level 100, despite not researching in, because I consumed a company that had that tech. But somebody apparently has tech level 1625 on fans. I don't know who that would be. And, oh, because I'm looking at Lose Lobby. Let's look at me. Okay, thank God, because that was looking like a very involved list. This is much better. So I need to look into ACE juice, action cameras, air conditioners. There's quite a myriad of goods here. More than I'd like. Another alternative is just to say, nah, screw that, we're not going to bother. It shouldn't cost me too much to just have these empty R&D centers. I'll just leave them there and put them to use if I need to later on. It's too much work for me. Does that airport not have a runway? They're just really good pilots here. Either that or they just, well, actually, how would you even get in with a... maybe think of the year, it's 2031. They probably have jets that have downward propulsion to bring them up into the air and then they blast off. That would be some good tech to have dense airports. I'm sure we'll come up with it someday. Well, in 9 years from now. Luftperfekthansa. I love it. Okay, so with the R&D centers largely taken care of, what's next? Well, this is a bit of a painful one, but I think I want to go to all 108 of my supermarkets and destroy them. Well, not just supermarkets, but all of my retail stores, because I'm moving away from retail. What's the easiest way to be doing this? I think I just have to... Oh god, I need to get rid of you. I think I just need to go to each of them and just say demolish. By the way, where are the sound effects? Did I mute this game or something? I feel like we haven't heard any music from the game at all. No, it seems to be on. Options. Maybe those sound effects are way lower than I normally have them. Don't know about you, but I wasn't hearing the destroyed sound effect there. There we go, that lovely loud noise right there. This is going to be quite a lot of write-offs. And more than anything, it's going to be a lot of losses from just destroying all these retail places of mine. But needs must. The game is overawed at the profits being made. I think we can make more profits than this. Especially if there's bigger populations, that's what I'm really looking for. So it's sad that I have to demolish these. I tried to think of a way that wouldn't involve me demolishing all my shops. But I don't want to be selling in retail stores anymore. It's a lot of work to set up loads of shops. And it doesn't have many benefits over Amazon. There is one big benefit actually, and that's the shopping convenience. The people that live in my apartments have an overall rating based on these 4 factors. I can instantly make rent attractiveness through the roof because I can lower the rent costs. Green and sport is not profitable. Community facilities I should be able to get pretty high, but shopping convenience is an easy one to bring up. Where can I get an example of that? Sydney, perhaps? Yeah, somebody living around here has great shopping convenience because they've got all these shops around them. But it takes up a lot of space. I'm not convinced it's worth it, and it doesn't employ enough people to make me want to keep doing it. So, I don't know how long this is going to take. Like 2 seconds per shop for 160 shops. 160, 320 seconds. About 5 minutes of just doing this. Sadly, there is no bulk tool to destroy shops, and I couldn't just offload them onto a subsidiary because the shops are profitable. Hell, some of these shops are very profitable. And they would maintain their connection to the factories, so I wouldn't be able to starve off a subsidiary for it. But this will clean it up. And it kind of fits with the whole hellscape idea. I did think about making cities that are really nice for people to live in, but that's not really in the spirit of the game. Save that for your City Skylines players. It's all about the hellscape here. If you want absolutely any good in my corporate city, you have to order it through Slick Luigi's imposter version of Amazon and have it delivered to your door. A great convenience, but like, people are just going to be trapped inside their apartments. There probably won't be many jobs for them to go out and do, and the only things flanking them are going to be... Well, actually, I wanted to save it for later, but I think what's going to make up the bulk of what these shops used to do is just going to be nothing but banks and insurance firms. Because I want to press every single individual into my banking and insurance networks that I can. I don't know if there's an upper limit on it, but thinking about it, my bank has, what, $100 billion put into it by private individuals, and there are only about 6.5 to 7 million, no, not even that, I think there's about 6 million people across these 5 cities. 6 million people, $100 billion, how many dollars is that in a bank per person? It's quite a lot, I would dare to say. Let's get some actual numbers on that to break up the monotony of destroying all these places. Here's my bank. Total deposits, 188 billion. Total population. Now, none of this is from corporations. Okay, well, there aren't other corporations with money to put in my bank anymore. But the population is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-ish million. Where are the 6 million getting all that money? Well, it doesn't matter. What matters is they give it to me for safekeepings, and they get pathetically low interest rates because there's no competitor to offer them better, whilst they also want my loans, and those loans have, well, significant interest rates on them. People saying that these people don't get food. Of course they get food, they just have to order it through Slick Luigi's, which is our Amazon company. I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm actually going to need 4 more Amazon-style company names because one of the big problems is going to be making sure that all of the governments are profitable. If they're not, the government's going to go bankrupt. I don't know if that affects the economic state, but it will affect who's in charge, and I want to always be in charge so that if I need to make differences in zoning or give myself very, well, especially moving around civic buildings, I want to be able to do that. And I can't really afford to wait 5 years for the next election or the uncertainty of when the next bankruptcy comes to the place. It's a nice way to print unlimited money, because every time you go bankrupt you get $500 million or $1 billion from central government. But it's too much uncertainty of losing control of the cities themselves. Hey, we're halfway through these stores already. This is taking no time at all. Nice and soothing. Plus, once this is done, it's done for good. Kinda glad I didn't set up hundreds upon hundreds of shops, because it would make it a lot harder to be getting rid of them right now. I'm not selling the land because why would I? Why would I ever want to sell the land? Eventually I'm going to want to own all the land. One can only hope that it gets to there. So I'm going to do this with my shops, and then I'm going to start setting up things in each of the cities so that they're not too hard to hit. But something I really need to focus on quite soon is unemployment. I hope that I can find a way to keep unemployment low, but Vancouver's already showing that once we start hitting 1.5 million or so, it starts really spiking up. There are only so many people that I can employ profitably, and I don't have an answer to this yet. Just about anything you build needs workers, which will eat into that unemployment figure. I don't think you ever have this problem of lack of workers, because unemployment seems to go to the bottom at 2%. But low unemployment is a great thing for quality of life, and quality of life is something that I need to bring in immigrants. So it's going to be a difficult balance, and there's not a lot of documentation on how to work with this. I don't think many people play this game with the idea of cultivating cities to be large and prosperous, which makes me wonder what other people are doing when they play this game. I mean, once you've made your profit, where do you go from there? Profit has to have some kind of end to the means, and for me that's making these horrible hellscapes. Maybe people are wishing I hadn't upped the sound effect volume, but it was quite disconcerting not hearing this sound effect for destroying the retail firms. Don't worry, only 40 more to go. Maybe just remove the income tax and max the unemployment benefits. So why not SAP? That's a swell one, except what we're doing there is getting rid of taxes, so the government makes no income, and we're paying unemployment through the roof, which will be a massive cost for the government. So from where will the government get its money? The government doesn't own the apartments, so it can't charge rent. The government doesn't own the media firms, so it can't make money off of advertising. The government can sell me land, but there's a limited amount of land for me to buy. The government is then only able to make income off of taxes. Income tax, consumer tax, and corporate tax. Now, that says that, yeah, we could have them make all their money from corporate tax, but what if I don't have profitable firms? Sydney, for example, has a lot of farms and a lot of industry, and none of those make money, so they can't be taxed. They make revenue, sure, but they make a loss because all of the stuff is sent out at cost to Slick Luigi's internet firm for e-commerce. I already have an answer to that, but what would you say would be a solution there? Maybe you can come up with a better answer. 12 more to go. It's okay, most of these places were way out in the boonies anyway, or at least the new boonies. Selling drugs, 100% inheritance tax, and the taxes can't go to 100. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and last place standing is this computer store. There we go, I have no more retail stores. That was a bit sad and a lot of write-off, but what you gonna do? Okay, I'm glad it worked out that way. I feel like UI could be better after looking back at this game for the last 2 minutes, says Serial. Yeah, there's plenty of old-ass UI in this game, but that's because it's an old-ass game. This is from 20 years ago. Right, one other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be moving all of my banks and insurance companies that exist over to this zone here. So I want my firms, just show me my firms, and then we're going to do this to bring them all over. Because the problem is, when I have a bank here, it's got pretty hefty customer waiting times, because it's the only one around with this massive population. So what I need to do now is just relocate all of these over here. This is space that I had left for 2x2 shops when I was designing these, but after pondering it for quite some time, I've decided that people buying things from shops is not a profitable venture for me. They need to buy it through Slick Luigi's e-commerce. Now that's going to really suck for anyone who doesn't have internet access, but thankfully we have just about everybody covered. In fact, we got some numbers on this. We can check cities, we can check digital, and here we go. So Grimsby has 1.1 million people, and it's got, well, everybody. Everybody is a personal computer user here in Grimsby. And the people on the internet is almost everybody. And hopefully it will eventually become everybody, because I don't charge a lot for my internet services. At least I hope I don't. I doubt they're going to go away. I could delete the firms that I have here already and just build new ones. Would stop me having to do this micro of moving them over. But these firms already have staff training. There's already been that invested into them. So I'd rather keep them and just move them over where there are more customers for them to exploit. Again, I don't know if there's an upper limit to how much people are going to be investing in my banks and my insurance companies. Surely there is, but there's nothing to say, here is the demand for loans and here is the demand for people wanting to put their money in a bank. So maybe, just maybe, by spamming a huge amount of banks and insurance companies, we can get more and more money out of these people. At the very least, we'll make sure that every drop of cash that can be inserted into my banks is inserted into my banks. So it's a bit of a horror show. You come out of your home and all you see is row upon row of banks and insurance companies. It sounds about as horrible as when you go back to a city that's down on its luck and all you see are pawn shops. What else do you see in them? Pawn shops, payday loan firms. No interesting shops, just ones that exploit poor economic cycles. Natural Selection Light now sold online. Everything is sold online here. Well, actually, except for banking services and insurance services. For those, you've got to step out your front door. But it would be so demoralizing living here. Oh, it's just horrible, and all the banks and things look exactly the same. God, what a horror show. Well, it's these people's horror show. If they didn't want it, they wouldn't be living here, would they? But since this is where everybody lives, this is exactly where I put all these banks and things. And I think I'll fill in the gaps with yet more banks and stuff. I can check and see from the headquarters if it causes an overall uptake in the amount of people taking out loans or putting money into my banks. I don't care so much about the rest of the garbage that's out here. I'm just searching for any banks or insurance firms that are still out there. Most of these aren't even ones that I built. Most of these are ones that I inherited from companies that I folded in, or merged with, rather. So I think that's all the ones in Toulouse. I certainly don't see any that I've missed. I got YouTube here. I think I'll move YouTube over here. Maybe I can find a better place for this stuff later on, but for now, what do we have? Photo sharing, online stock trading. Yeah, it all makes money, so I don't have a problem with those existing there. Alright, Toulouse is done, Sydney's up next. Loads of them scattered around, and I need to bring them over here. So I will. What is it? That's a mansion, isn't it? And what a mansion. Man, I wish Control X wasn't the hotkey for this. There's no way I can reasonably do Control X any quicker than I can just click on that. Right, so unfortunately that mansion being in the way stops me from putting everything down where I want to, but I'll just live with that. Thank you, Stronghold music. Lovely, relaxing stuff. 1, 2, 1, 2. There we go. Hopefully the other things I've set up are done in a nice, orderly fashion here, so that if the day comes that that mansion is up for sale and I can get rid of it, damn you, Jock Dongle, things won't be misaligned, because when everything is 2 by 2, if just one of them is misaligned, everything else is going to be misaligned down the row, and that's going to be a lot of them to move around. I'm sure I can cope with the situation though. And I might not even care. A little 1 by 2 gap is just something that I could insert a... Let's see, 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, that's perfect. Any little 2 by 1 gap is something I can insert a 2 by 1 commercial building into. Although the demand for commercial buildings is not very high because I built such an incredibly large amount of them in every city because I was clairvoyant. Every time Stronghold comes to my mind, my brain goes, ooh, time for a Wronghold fake out. We haven't had a good fake out in this channel in a while, have we? What was the last fake out that was done? Not that I have one up my sleeve, but it's always nice to do that to keep people on their toes. Otherwise people get complacent. I'm going to have a bit of a problem in Vancouver because the rows that I'm putting all these banks and insurance firms into right now are rows that are full of apartments there. I might just do the row one bit fatter out than do a big redesign on it. I don't think it's worth it. A lot of clicking through for not a lot of space saved. Okay, okay. Ooh, news publisher, don't move that. Although I suppose it doesn't really matter where the news publisher is, so I might just move you over here as well. There's local advertising done through this, and that is free income for you. Plus, it probably makes the land worth a bit more to have a newspaper publishing house out here. At least it's a job that's not in insurance and banking. Right, jobs and unemployment. I'm going to have to focus on that soon because, ugh. 2%, 3% unemployment, great. 10% unemployment, things get considerably less great. And you can tell just by looking at the... oh, Christ, that is off by 1. Oh, well. It's fine. I can just move things around here. It's not a large amount to have to fix here, so I can just move these over. When you move, as long as you own the land, you only pay for the building cost move, and that's just 2 million. To a man with $29 billion, I'm not too concerned about that. I suppose it's not just the man owning that, it's the company. But I own most of the company. Not all of it, though. I might have to deal with Dale Gribble at some point. He owns way too much of my company. There's no negative impact of having 10% of my company owned by various individuals, except for the fact that I just don't like it. It's my company, not theirs. Ah, lovely banished music. Nice and relaxing. This is not a game to be playing to make yourself stress out. In fact, I couldn't even imagine becoming stressed by playing this game. That just seems like such a bizarre concept. What about this game is stressful? If anything, there's not enough challenge in this game. Things are instantly very profitable in here. Makes a lot of sense gameplay-wise, but it can make you feel a bit deflated from not having overcame a great challenge. We started this game with the AIs having an extraordinary advantage over us in many ways, and even so, it wasn't that hard to kick their asses because we were just so much more profitable at what we did compared to them. Right, we got that going. I want to demolish this little bit of road that's in the way. I want to demolish this little bit of road as well. Actually, I don't want any of this road existing. Get away. And then I need to make sure that this land is mine. Ah, crumbs, I'm getting rid of those parks again. I said I would spare the parks. Oh well, too bad for them. Hopefully nobody moseys on in and tries to own some of this land. It's my land. Get away. Okay, I suppose I'll take that. Yeah, well, I got little choice but to take that. Okay, 2 and 2 and 2 and 2, that's good. So, man, there are a lot of banks and things here in Vancouver. It's alright, it has to be done, so we just get them moved over. Not in such an ideal place, but Vancouver was the first hellscape commie block that I ever built up. A prototype, if you will. But it'll be a prototype that perseveres. I'm not going to restructure this. I will just build around it. It'll be interesting to see if this actually inflates the amount of dosh that's coming in, because on the one hand, the banks will end up competing against each other to get people in, but on the other hand, it's going to reduce waiting time, which will increase the service of them, which may make more people go. I just don't know. Unlike most other goods in this game, the supply and demand for banking services is very nebulous, so I couldn't say one way or t'other. Right, just shove everything over here. Any of the spaces that need to be filled in after this, I'm just going to spam down more banks and insurance companies, but the new ones won't have any established market, and they won't have any training done for them, so it'll take a bit of time for Dale Gribble to whip those people into shape, but I'm sure if anybody can do it, Dale can. Dale, my fiercely erratic COO. Even hell blocks need greeneries. No, they don't. They want greeneries. They can buy some plants off of Greasy Luigi and have it inside their tiny little apartment block. And it must be tiny because these apartments are the... You can't even see them. These apartments are the densest in the game in terms of population. So yeah, I can't imagine that's a lot of space to have for yourself. Probably very swanky. I mean, Jinx, you see some of those tiny little apartment pods, and they look pretty swanky with all the mod cons and such, but sometimes a man needs space. That space isn't always offered up. What are these buildings here? Ugh, tennis court. Right, well, for now I think I will relocate you. And then there's this, the Daly State Corporation newspaper publishing. Interestingly enough, they do have local advertising going on there, but there's no quality to it. Okay, well, sucks to be you, Daly State. This will never amount to anything. But the only reason you were able to build it there was because I messed up and left that as a usable area. I don't plan on messing up again. Let's just keep shoving these buildings over here. This is all part of the big consolidation. There used to be a proper city here, and now it's all gone. I just tore everything out because it wasn't deemed profitable enough. Right, this line as well is just going to have to be a load of insurance companies and the like. It's fun when I look at the population density map mode here, because it used to be that this blackish, greyish stuff was everywhere, and now it's only here. It's the only place people live. Interestingly enough, all this green stuff is access to civil buildings, so I can check their access to hospitals and such. And that will be a further concern after I've moved over all these other firms. But one step at a time. At no point did I claim that this part would be an exciting part of the run. I'm not sure if any part of the run's been particularly exciting. But that's not the point of it. Nobody stuck around in Patrician for the incredible blood-racing excitement that offered. It offers a different kind of entertainment. I'm not even sure if entertainment's the right word, but I certainly like it. Sadly, CapLab was made before the time Eco High Rise was created. The time Eco High Rise? Eco High Rise? I don't know what you mean by an Eco High Rise. If I had to guess, it's some kind of very ecologically friendly high-rise building. Probably lots of integrated plants and things in it. Using stuff like soil for insulation. That's what my imagination tells me. And my imagination is pretty powerful. Communism through hyper-capitalism. No, because the state doesn't own this stuff. I own the state. And that makes it a lot better. To hell, I am the state. We should actually take a look and see how our party is doing. So, if we go to political parties, we've got the People's National Party, led by Kaladin, and it's got Bane, Zhang He, Uncle Fester, Jock Dongle, Dissident Tropican, Pepperoni, Gypsymoth, Kaiser, Candice the Baby, Reset Lemongrass, and Rance. And they're not particularly well supported. None of them are. The Republican Party is led by Le Pips, and it's got Strongholds The Rat, Illustration, Nick, Scrooge McDuck, Sunaj, Trainerita, Christopher Robin, Calaw, Jimmy Hopkins, Meridian, Nancy Drew, Giovanni, The Great White Bull of Dominions 5, and Giant Nerd Carter of Resident Evil Outbreak File 2. That's, there's quite a lot of people involved in politics these days. There was no way near this amount of people before. I think it's because I've kicked these people out of being CEOs. They've decided to get into politics instead. But my party, of course, is also fleshed out. Of course, I'm the party leader here, but Flying Land Duck, Urangu McBain, the mayor of Toulouse, Bob Ross, Dr. Marsange, Lemerker, Payne Elemental. Hey, he is in here. Senator Armstrong, and then the other mayors, Frank West, Fat Miner, Maximilian, and Gunnar. They should all be pretty influential individuals, aren't they? Naturally, I'm the most influential person in the world, but below that, we've got Fat Miner is on the list. Gunnar is there, Maximilian. Maximilian's more influential than Steve Jobs and Winston Churchill. And Urangu McBain, he's more of a big name than Christopher Columbus. I love to see it, but what I love to see the most is just being the richest bugger alive. That's a wealth of $1.5 trillion, and I intend on making it more. Your income skyrocketed, holy mother of God, says Tiberius. Yeah, but it could always be higher, and that's what we're trying to do. I'm actually struggling to think of ways that I could be making more money, and we might actually end up making a little less money because I'm going to need to funnel some of my money into government to keep the government alive, but we'll see where we go. The thing is, all of the people in the game, I already have them squeezed for everything I can. They all buy all of my products. So I can't really make more money off of my products. Not any reasonable amount. I mean, I could make a bit of quality higher. I could maybe tweak the market share to profit margins that I have things sold at. Maybe tighten up my supply chains. But that's gonna make me like a few million, maybe a dozen or even a few hundred million. I'm talking hundreds of billions now, and it's hard to get there. We can get a rundown of where our money even comes from here. If we look at our firms here, look at that. Practically all of the money is made from the internet company, and that isn't is from insurance and banking. Commercial buildings make me a wee touch of money, but most other things make me a loss. The farms, the factories, they all turn a loss. The factories lose me over $16 billion every... Is this month or year? Must be year. That's a lot of money to lose, but... Oh, I see mansion, I buy mansion. Fat Miner wants it. Oh man, I'm gonna pay Fat Miner more money than he deserves for it. There you go. There we go, got myself a mansion now. And the market value is decent, but I'll just hold on to it for... Actually, it's gonna confuse me. I'll just demolish the mansion. There we go. Thank you, Fat Miner. Although he should be thanking me, I just gave him money for that. I see a mansion for sale, I should take the mansion. If you spot a mansion for sale, please let me know, because I need to pick those up and I can't monitor it all the time. Buying them is pretty important for clearing out the land, but I cannot choose when the AI puts them up for sale. I get the question a lot, so I might as well preempt it. The music playing right now is from Banished, so if you think, I recognize this tune, that is likely why. I need to go and sort out some industry things, but I'm in the zone for it, so I might as well continue consolidating my banking and insurance firms. We just shove them all in. It's going to look a little wonky here, but again, this is our prototype. Call me Hellscape. Need to figure out what to do with the telecommunications. I might just shove those in a corner somewhere because I don't think it matters where they are. Especially when I eventually integrate the Raven's telecommunications. You know, this is nice. This kind of feels like gardening. I've got everything built up, but you know, some hedges need trimmed, some buds need clipped, some things need watering. Oh no, that's a salt mine for sale. For about $1 billion, no way in hell I'm paying that. Setting up new resource places is going to be incredibly expensive now. This oil patch, for example, would cost me $14 billion to exploit. So let's just hope I don't have to do that. Oh, if you thought this was tedious, I'm going to have to do the same with all the different government buildings, but there's not a big push on me to do that just yet. I'm going to take care of all the banking first, then I'll take care of some industry stuff, and then I will probably take care of... then I'll do the civil stuff, and then I need to take care of government budgeting. Oh, you were hiding from me down there. Can't imagine a lot of people journey to that corner of the map just to make a bank deposit. Or even better, take out a banking loan. Deposits are all well and good, but I make my money putting out loans from my banks. Another thing to consider is I should be getting rid of these farms. There aren't many of them, so let's just destroy them. I can't relocate them to another city, and I want Sydney to be all of my breadbasket. So let's go here, let's go farm. And just search for those. There are 14 farms here, so away they all go. These are some really old farms, the ones that I set up at the very start. It's kind of sad to get rid of them because they're maximum level, but we'll just release these cows and chickens to the wild. Actually, no, then people might go out and grab them for themselves. The culling then. We'll cull all these chickens and cows. Gonna miss that goat milk. And if it puts a strain on production and demand, we'll just build more farms over in Sydney. Which is more expensive, but just for me managing it, it's a lot easier to have it all consolidated in one spot. Remember building up that rubber farm? I forget what we were getting into rubber for, but I even made a designated warehouse for it. Good times. Went dark pretty quick. Of what were you expecting from Capitalism Lab? Alright, this seems fine. Let's make sure that we haven't missed any banks. No, I'm sure I would have noticed if I had. Okay, never mind this place and its banks. Next up is Grimmer Than Grimsby. Turn off firms, just show my firms, and we need to move them over here. Grimsby's a bit off because, again, I made things more dense than I should have. What is a man to do with that? I could demolish a lot of this stuff, but I might end up regretting it because there's a lot of, he's thinking hard. I don't want to do a big lot of demolishing. No, I certainly don't. Alright, in that case I'm going to put roads out to the side and put my banks over there. So let's go and sell this land so that the roads can be built along it. The government cannot build a road on land that you own. It'd be very exploitable if they could. Get rid of you. I need this coming out this way. Again, you can't just click and drag here. Which is a bit of a shame. They certainly have click and drag technology. They use it for zoning. Surprised they didn't use that for buying and selling land. Alright, that seems well enough. Now let's put some roads out here. Upsy daisy. And upsy daisy. And I need to make sure this land I can build on it to my heart's desire. Okay, good. I need to make sure I own all of this land. Can't have somebody... Oh, Christ, don't sell it, buy it. You bought it. Okay. So all of this land that I own, I should certainly be allowed to do whatever the heck I want with it. Just got to be careful not to allow any competitors in here. So one thing I can't stand is competition. Alright, and then we just get to moving these things over. Maybe they ran into bugs. Of course you run into bugs, it's game development. I'd love to know more about their actual development process behind this game. They certainly had a lot of time, but maybe not a big team or tons of resources. But it's been a great game to enjoy. Oh, well, one positive thing I can do in Grimsby is I can alternate between insurance firm and bank. I think that'll be a nice look, and it'll also balance it out. Oh, well, I messed it up already because I put a bank there. I'm going to regret going for this because there's no way I'm going to remember to do this all the time, but still, I will do my utmost. 2. Another bank. I also don't know if I have an equal number of both around here. No, it matters not. Should be good enough. Oh yeah, look at that. 72 customer traffic index when one entire side of you just has no access to population at all. It will eventually, but it doesn't right now. And again, I will be filling in the gaps with yet more insurance places and banks later on. So, about unemployment, just about anything you build will consume unemployment. Banks do it, insurance firms do it, factories do it, retail shops do, commercial buildings do. Some do significantly more than others. Those mega factories, I think like a single mega factory will consume, I mean, percentage doesn't make any sense to measure it by, but Vancouver, for example, a mega factory will reduce unemployment by about 0.2%. So what would that be? 50 mega factories in Vancouver would be solved of its unemployment problem. But the troubling thing is those would be very unprofitable factories, because there's nothing I can produce right now to fill any demand. At least not on any scale. I might find, oh, I need another smartphone factory, or I need another leather farm, but that's not going to be sufficient. This might actually be a case where my early decision to go into the mod and lower demand for all goods by 70% comes and kicks me in the face, because maybe there would be more call to make more factories to eat up that unemployment if I hadn't done it. And hey, maybe the mod was balanced around that. I doubt it, but it's possible. Still, we roll with the punches, even those that we create for ourselves around here, so I will just have to find other ways to soak up the unemployment. Alternatively, I could not care about the unemployment, but that's a risky proposition. High unemployment is going to lead to a lot more economic downturn, a lot more depressions and recessions, which will lower people's desire to buy my more lucrative goods. They won't be buying jewelry or cars and buses. On top of that, the real wage rate will fall, and I like high real wage rate because it means they're going to buy my stuff for more cost. And if I want to sell everywhere, my e-commerce needs to go to the lowest common denominator in terms of the amount of money they're willing to pay. So, full of complications on that one. Complications I'll have to solve one way or another. Do I have any? Oh wow, we even have a bank over here and an insurance firm over here. I don't even know how they get any customer traffic index all the way out there, but more power to them. Got a lot more banks than I do insurance firms here. I think a lot more companies got into banking, or maybe they just made a lot more banks. But I'm here to make bank. Okay, one way or another it's going to have to extend out. Probably better to extend out in this direction, so let's just preempt ourselves here. We're going to hide all of that, turn to government. We're going to demolish all of this road. And then I'm going to make sure that all of this land is capable of building more road. That coal might get in the way, and by might I mean it probably will. I would like to not see these banks if possible. They're getting in my way, but... Right. These raw resources are going to be pretty horrible. People are going to be living next to massive pollutants, but they knew the risks. They knew the risks when they moved to Grimsby. How do I hide this? All I can do is see under you, though. Seems alright. Let's see if we can't build these roads out now. That's acceptable. It's good. That's not particularly good, but I can always bring you out. Bring you down as far as you can go, and up as far as you can go, and get rid of that. And how did I miss you? How in the world did I miss you? Gotta be careful here. I gotta make sure that none of this land is okay for my competitors to build on. Otherwise, they will build on it. They are desperate for somewhere that they can use to build on. And why wouldn't they be? I've robbed them of every other opportunity they have. All's fair in capitalism lab, though. Oh, that's nowhere near good enough. This represents a bit of a problem, but I'm sure it's a problem we can solve. There we go. Now we just demolish all these pesky bits of road that get in the way. Must suck to want to drive from here to here. Just no real road to do it on. Okay, that seems agreeable. Next up, I'm going to designate the land as something that can be built on by anybody. Of course, anybody in this context isn't anybody. When I say we, I don't mean thee. There we go. Just make sure I own it. I'm not designating it as agricultural land because I actually need the government to have some money here. I can't have the government just go bankrupt on me all too easily. Did I get it all? I didn't get it all, but did I get enough of it? Some of this is getting in the way here. I need to... Oh no, I think those trees are part of that logging camp, aren't they? Yeah. There we go. There we go. Right, so shouldn't be any competitors grabbing that land, unlike this filthy chartered West Indian company did to get that R&D center. Alright, looks okay. Still could be better, but we'll get there. But that I needed this room for building up more banks and things, so that's okay. So we come out of this and we continue to grab our banks. So show me the banks and get them moved. Some of them are going to be pretty sad because they're going to be further and further away from the houses and that, but it's okay, we can fill in the rest later. I don't know, Jake, down with the government and all that jazz. Anarchy, brudge. I'm not really sure I understand your words there, Tiberius, but your feelings are clear. You're all for this government-owned, state-owned government. What is getting in my way here? Oh, that's your filthy R&D firm. Right park there, so it's going to mess up my everything. That's okay, though. You have the freedom to do that. I give you these freedoms. Although I will be coming for your company, and I will be tearing that down eventually. Speaking of tearing it down, I might be running out of space for my banks here. Perhaps I did build... Well, I didn't build many of these banks at all. Come to think of it, have I ever built a bank? Insurance bank, insurance bank. I don't think so. I think I just inherited all of these banks. My whole idea was not to build them, but just take over existing markets, because that way I don't need to put in any real effort to gain control of it. An inspired idea, I must say, but that's left me with a lot of extra banks. DDR is running on a platform called More Parking, Less Trees. Not sure what our platforms really would be for this. Give me all your money. Kinda reminds me of the stuff I put on my passport out paintings. Those paintings just devolved into long messages of telling people how much I hate them because they don't appreciate my paintings. Good game that. Can't wait for Passport Out 2. Insurance bank, insurance bank, insurance bank, insurance, and I'm out of space. So what now? Do I start bringing them down on this side as well? It's certainly an option. Bye-bye roads. Bye-bye my ownership of what will soon be roads. Poor government has to pay me for this land, and I have developed this land so much that it's quite expensive for them. But that's okay. I have ways of giving money to the government, but I need to find one that will just run on its own. Never thought it would come to this. I mean, I used to think, how can I... Ooh, missed a spot. I used to think, how can I exploit as much money as possible from the government? And we found some lovely ways to do that. But now it's become a case of, okay, how can I keep the government afloat? Not a way of thinking I thought I would have. The government needs to continue to make a profit, and that includes when there's economic downturn, which is when their tax income really hurts. On top of that, we haven't got to it yet, but I will have to care about civil services. As the patrician 4, as the Caesar 3 patrician would say, services are suffering here. Right, that should do for now. Let's also designate this land as land that I can build on. From here down to here, that should do. Get rid of this little bit of road. This is the 4th city that I'm doing this work for. There's only one more to do after this. Grimsby seems to be the hardest one to do so far, given the sheer amount of buildings that I have to be moving across. But it'll feel good once it's all done. What will feel really bad, though, is if I'm completely wrong on this, which is certainly possible. It might be that my presumption that this is the way forward is completely mistaken, and that without providing retail jobs and retail experience for my people, I'm dooming the city in some way. But I don't have the information to make that call just yet. It's the one that makes most sense to me, so we're going with it. And if it's a terrible mistake, it won't be the first I've ever made. It's good to have experience in making mistakes. If you don't, then you won't know what to do when you make one. Right, I'll continue this going down this way. I don't see any need to build more apartments and such, because the apartments here are... Hang on. What's the... Yeah, the occupancy rate in a lot of these apartments is way low. Once I start hitting 100%, that's when I should start building more apartments and commercial buildings. On that note, how are the commercial buildings looking? Commercial buildings look pretty packed, don't they? Let's get some numbers on that. City, Grimsby, City Graph. Office space isn't as high as I thought, actually. So there must be quite a few of these that are not jam-packed. They look pretty jam-packed though, don't they? 92%, 98%. There's not some hidden... there's not some hidden commercial buildings out there, are there? Don't know. At least they're profitable for me. Actually, some of them are very profitable for me. How many occupants can a single apartment fit since there are 1 million people in the city? Well, let's do some... no, I can't do some numbers because this... I used to have the numbers and I forgot them all. And I think I wrote them down and then I lost wherever I wrote them down. So, unfortunately, I don't have that info. I once did, I no longer do. I just know that this is the densest apartment building. Right, I can move my radio station over here for giggles as well. I shove you over there. I tend to prefer they're up the top. Easier to spot up here. Okay, still another bank. Of course there's another bank. Grimsby is nothing but banks. Probably all of them offering payday loans. Can't believe how many banks there are here. It's kind of unbelievable. Well, of course it is. I said I can't believe it. Okay. Doot. I do worry that Grimsby is a little too dense in terms of housing. Just the density here is far higher than I have made it elsewhere, and I might suffer for that. But it's a long-term concern. Also, all telecom things I just want shoved to the top, easier to find up here. Except I have this designated as do not build land, so I'll just shove you over there for now. Anybody spot any banks that I've missed here? Banks or insurance companies, I won't be over there. Nope, looks good. In that case, I think Chengdu is the only one I have left to do. Toulouse is done, Sydney is done, Vancouver is done, Grimsby is done. Alright, Chengdu. You're the last one on my list. I need to check my Chengdu layout here. Clear away all those. Oh yeah, Chengdu is ripe for the plucking here. Excellent. I still want this raised all the way to the end here though. So let's get rid of this road. And I'll also need to get rid of some of this land. Oh god, which one? This one? Build that road out. Okay, it's quite agreeable. Make sure I own the land in between it. Don't want anybody sneaking away. Oh, I should double check that I made everything fine in Grimsby. Yeah, it doesn't look like anywhere that anyone can sneak their scummy little buildings into. Alright, Chengdu then. Let's get these migrated over then. Good, I can do it from the top. I hope this is lined up, although I'm not convinced that it is. Well, we'll see when we get to the bottom of it. Alright, over you all come then. And you know what, I like that alternating pattern in Grimsby so much that I'm going to use it again here. Ooh, I've got Google+. I thought Google+ was defunct now. It's not a Google product if it doesn't get dumped. I was really excited about Google Lens. That was something I wanted in my life. I have no idea why it was dumped like that. Augmented reality is one of the most exciting technological things in my, from my perspective. And to see, you know, one of the biggest names decides to back it, and then they also go, yeah, nah, kind of sets it back by a long way. But maybe I have a romanticized idea of what it could be. God, plenty of banks here in Chengdu again. What's with my obsession with banks? Again, I like my internet companies just shoved up to the top here, don't I? So let's move you up here. Oh, I can't because I didn't designate it for that. Won't work until it's a contact lens. Glasses are for nerds. True enough, I hate wearing glasses. It's one of the big reasons I went and got laser eye surgery. I just very, very much do not enjoy wearing glasses. I don't mind other people wearing glasses. I think they look pretty good on some people. But for me, I hated having that feeling of this thing between me and the world. It was an unfortunate reality that I needed to actually see the world. I remember going to an optician and I said, yeah, I'm thinking about getting laser eye surgery. And they said, oh, you really, really shouldn't do that. It's got all these problems and all these risks. You shouldn't do it. And I was like, well, I don't like listening to people, so I'm not going to listen to you. And I'm very glad I didn't. Yeah, go figure these ones wear off by one. There we go, much better. Yeah. Important life lesson for me, never listen to anyone. People are just full of their own self-interests, after all. That's something this game will certainly teach you. I couldn't trust these, could I? No, I couldn't. So let's move these guys. Again, I will fill in all the blanks. I will have this place absolutely saturated with insurance and banking. And then we'll see if that makes a big impact on how much people are willing to put into my banks or not. This is just the setup, by the way, in terms of managing the city. If this setup is wrong, then I've got a lot of problems on my hands. And if it's right, I've got a lot of work on my hands. So either way, I think I'm gonna be bringing it home. I'm gonna shove my radio station down here. I don't see any need to have more than just a radio station, a newspaper place, and a TV place in any city. And I don't even see them as worth my time. I'd rather advertise on the internet. But in terms of dominance, I might as well have it there. Otherwise the game is going to say, oh, but you don't have dominance in the newspaper industry. It's 2031, who reads newspapers? Also by 2031, I like to think that there'd be a lot more of that digital paper going around. That stuff looks cool and easy on the eyes. Would need to get a lot cheaper to produce, though. Ah, man, this is so relaxing for me. Like most elements of this game, I can totally see people thinking, oh my god, how can anyone derive joy from this? Well, I find a way. Can't deny it's a lot of busy work, but I mean, I play farming simulator games. This is mild compared to that. How long's your post-surgery recovery, Jake? A few hours. Wouldn't even call it recovery. I came out of the clinic. Everything was really blurry when I came out because they put all this numbing stuff in your eyes. So I staggered my way home looking like a blind person. I guess in a way I was. Probably could have been pronounced legally blind there. But I made my way home. And I remember some people telling me, oh, it hurts like hell for a while. So I was like, I don't want anything to hurt, so I'm going to go take a nap. So I did take a nap, got up a few hours later, and I was completely fine. There was no issues, no scarring, no nothing. I was just fully operational as soon as I'd had my post-surgery nap. you know, that's not fair, right? I have a lot of points stuck into luck, so I wouldn't take my experience as gospel there. Felt pretty good though. Ugh, we're off by 1 here. Of course we're off by 1. Right, let's demolish all these god-awful roads and make our own better roads. Potentially with blackjack. Okay, good, that works. I don't know what that is in the way there. Probably a natural resource. Oh, that's hideous. That is beyond hideous. Get it out of here. What are you? Oh, you're a grade school. That's not a resource. Well, it could be for me. I think I'll put that to use. In fact, I'm going to have to put all the schools and other civil buildings to use soon enough. But when did I say I would do that? Was it after or before the stuff I'm dealing with my businesses? I don't know yet. I'll figure it out. I think I'll do business first. Okay, they don't need education, they need to buy our products. Couldn't have said it better myself. So I won't. Right, all this should be buildable on. Never forget the words of my former Prime Minister David Cameron. People rising from the bottom to the top has got to stop. Now you could argue he didn't say that, but that's what I heard. Okay, that's quite agreeable, apart from that grade school being in the way, but I'll sort that out soon enough. He also definitely didn't say that, it was part of a mash-up by, I think, Cassette Boy. A very good one at that. David Cameron's conference rap. Highly quotable, as all good things should be. Yeah, True Cult knows what I'm on about. A lot of Cassette Boy Apprentice stuff, a lot of politics stuff there. That's good, because it's not so on the nose. I'm very much not into politics, so if there's a hidden message there, I don't want to hear it. Alright, there's coal in the way. I was wondering what was stopping me. Clearly that big sign saying coal wasn't enough for me to notice. There we go, I've stamped down all around it though, and now we've got all the space we need to pursue this further. Google Plus. I mean, do I even want this Google Plus thing here? I do not. The only other stuff... Yeah, I'm just going to delete you. You make good money, but bye-bye. All of my internet stuff is going to be done in Vancouver. Just because it's where my headquarters is, so it's a very quick place to go and check. Do I even make money on this newspaper firm? Barely. And it's just from local advertisers. It's okay though. As I said, I want newspaper, radio, and television in all of the cities. There's no reason not to. There's my TV station. Barely making money, but to be fair, compared to e-commerce, nothing makes any real amount of money. Curiously, how much does the real world Amazon make? And to compare it, how much does, say... Oh, Christ, what's a competition to Amazon? Etsy, maybe? What's that? Alibaba. So I'm thinking, they're $1 trillion company. Oh, well, so am I. I feel very accomplished now. Okay, then. This seems to work out quite well. With that, I think all of my cities have moved all of their banks and things over. I will fill in the gaps though, so I'm going to take my insurance office and can I copy and paste you? No, I can't. I have to make more of them. So banking and finance, insurance. I'll just fill in all this gap with insurance. What an absolute hellscape. I'm terrified at the prospect of having to live somewhere like this. Come out your front door and all you see are people just trying to peddle their banking and insurance at you. Kind of makes me wish I'd made this alternating now. bit bothers me, but not enough. I'm not gonna lose sleep over this. Bank, bank, 2 banks there. Banks I don't think are particularly expensive to run. They do employ. That's awful. Right. Move you there. And move you over there. And then make myself my new bank. Hey, did I always own the lose lobby? I thought they went bankrupt. Maybe it's because the game is paused. I've done a lot without saving the game. Let's save the game. And this is Perfect 032. Alibaba revenue 128 billion. Ooh, that's nice. There is traffic in the game, but not mechanically, St. John. It just appears as a visual effect. You don't actually gain or lose anything out of... There's no logistics, shall we say. The only logistic is a consideration of distance from point A to point B, and it applies a logistic cost to it, nothing more. So this is not a place to get your logistical jollies out of. Rise of Industry would be, if that game didn't run like ass. Okay, so with that done... What the heck is all that noise? Game? You're scaring me. What was any of that? I don't know, but let's not worry about it. Didn't Lose Lobby recently get an influx of capital? I remember Jake contributing to it. Yeah, but then I immediately took it out and then forced them to go bankrupt, so we're okay. Prome is now my only subsidiary, and they have no firms, and I 100% own them. I just keep them around to manage stock for me. In fact, I'd like to buy up any company that gets into the stock game and have them as my subsidiary, just so I can make dosh off of them. Okay, that seems agreeable. I highly doubt this is going to immediately spike the amount of people that are buying my, or putting money into me. And we can check this, and it doesn't seem to be changing significantly. In fact, it seems to be going down. Am I putting out more loans? Again, hard to tell. Really what I'll care about is if the bank profit is going up. Same with the insurance stuff. 45 billion? Nah. It was more organizational than anything else, so I don't care about much else. Oh god, Grimsby is hideous. Okay, with that sorted out, what is being done now? I'm going to do a quick glance at all of my industry and make sure that everything is meeting demand. And what I can do is I can position myself like this and just scour across like so. And if I ever see anything like that, where I see that demand is not being met... Wow, to think I need so much leather. Didn't I set up more leather farms here? I did, and that was nowhere near enough. So we're going to make a lot more leather farms. Makes sense that leather farms are what I need, because we do a lot of leather goods, apparel and such, so let's just vastly overproduce leather. I'm even wondering if that would be enough. Let's do one more, just for good luck. There we go. All that's going to process some leather. What else we got going for us here? Strangely enough, I need more feathers. I never imagined I would have needed more, but there you go. Let's triple the amount of feathers we make. I don't mind making more farms than I need. If nothing else, it employs people. Strangely enough, there's a huge demand for frozen fish, so I'm going to duplicate you as well. Yeah, just triple the production, that's fine. Casually putting down all these farms. I'm a job creator, though. Really, I'm a hero of the people. A person with a job is a happy person. Eyes peeled for anything else that is struggling to meet demand. Wool. Wool is nowhere near what it needs to be. So we're going to make a lot more of these. This is why I left myself a huge amount of space for all of this. Why can't I build here? God knows. Screw it. Wool aplenty. Never know how much wool one man truly needs. Yeah, this is why I set myself aside all this space for building my farms. What about the food farms, though? I can't imagine any particular food would have supply issues. I also want to centralize all of my RGOs, my raw good operations. Is that what it is? Raw goods? I always forget what RGO stands for. I mean, I would call it raw good output, but I'm pretty sure it's operation. Resource gathering operation, that's what it stands for. Is that actually a Wiki term, or is it sourced in real life in some way? Okay, factories as well. Why am I doing it this way? We've got a better tool for this. It's called factory, and then we find and we just click through, and the moment we see anything where demand is higher than supply, we go and sort it. And everything here looks fine. What I'm doing is I'm looking at this bar, and if I ever see lots of orange, then I know I need to fix something. Same could be done in Vancouver. Whoa, we got some stuff needed to be fixed in Vancouver. We need more CPUs, but you also need to ask yourself, is it a problem with production, or is it a problem with the goods? As in, let's say they need more copper or something. Looks like it's a factory issue. So I can just come along and say, sure, we need more factories, and I can do more factories. Maybe it's a bit easier if I go through it like this for Vancouver, given there's probably quite a few things here that have not gotten enough love for a long time. It's the first ever place we made, a huge industrial park. I should try that again. It's first ever industrial park we've made. You don't do anything because I missed a spot. Go figure. What else we have around here? All the toys seem to be doing fine. Plenty of video games reaching the market. Blocks, handhelds, puzzles, toy figures, toy dolls. I'm surprised the steel is holding. I thought I'd have real problems with the steel. Turbines are once again a problem. So we'll deal with turbines. What's for the public water? Looks like there's no demand for it. Nobody is buying it even on e-commerce. Are you charging too much for it or something? Oh yeah, the overall quality. Okay, the average quality is really high because public water is being sold at a very cheap rate. Strange that, but I will trust you to come up with a solution yourself. I need more turbines though. That's not the problem. The problem seems to be the lack of engines. Your manufacturing is still working flat out, so I'm gonna double down on it. I'll find one of those blank ones. I got some factories here that aren't doing anything. Yeah, the one's at 0% over here. So I'm going to set you up for turbine. Turbine is a semi-product. Turbine. Again, though, it doesn't do it the right way. I don't believe this does it the right way. Like, it puts one engine where it should be 2 engines and 1 zinc. So I'm going to have you be the zinc. F1 and zinc. Zinc is spelled with a C. Get it from the warehouse, please. And you will be the engine. You're also an engine. Couldn't I save this as a predefined? Oh nice, it remembers it. Great. This plan has no saleable items. I'm sure they'll figure it out. I had another empty one going, didn't I? Well, I have you, and you're just straight up not working. It says 0%. I think it's just that you have so many backed up and nobody's buying them. Still, not too much of a concern. That's a coal raw good place, so I don't need to worry about that. What about the engines? I thought I made loads of engines. But I'm still going to duplicate it, maybe twice, because engines have been a problem in the past. What about my other places here? Interesting to see that gasoline is holding up. Demand for paper is through the roof, so duplicate that. Make a whole batch of it. Never know when you need enough paper. Glass is good. Glad to see components are doing well. My smartphones are struggling there, but not struggling over here, wherever I saw my other smartphone place at. I'm sure I saw it. That doesn't really matter. Find the one that did smartphone. And I'll duplicate that twice because I know demand for smartphone is pretty high. Right, what else is I looking at? Notebook computers. Again, I see something that has a lack of demand. I just slam down more factories. I'm not afraid of putting down lots of factories because if nothing else, they are going to improve the unemployment situation. That desktop computer is struggling enough for me to want to build another one. The cost of a factory is quite expensive, but at the same time not much of a concern. 20 million in the past year for this factory. And sure, I have a lot of factories, but I already got rid of all my R&D centers, so it's not like I can't shoulder that cost. What about these weird ones over here? Holy moly, textiles. Textiles and leather boots. I thought I set up big factories for these things elsewhere. I just have the one here, right. So I should probably be doing away with all of these because they are these tiny little factories. So how much are those how much are we struggling on the leather boots? Well, whatever. Make textiles and leather boots. Factory, mega, here. Make me semi-product for textile, right? There you go. And as for the boots, didn't I have a factory that wasn't doing anything around here? Yeah, here you are. Leather products. Leather boots, go. Anything else that's struggling around here? The pizza's good, the cheese is good. Lots of tech goods, but they're doing alright. Television. Television has always been good to me, so let's support them further. Dun, dun. It's all fine, it's all fine. I'm a little concerned about biofuel having such a small thing here. I don't think they're going to meet demand because I got rid of all the stores out there. There's certainly a large e-commerce need for it. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to demolish you. I'm even going to do the same for you. And I'm going to replace you with mega factories, which for some reason I can't because this land is probably still set to you can't do that to me land. Where's my prompt for building stuff? Where's the thing that's meant to be over here on the side that lets me do things? Did I press a button that removes this? Where are all my build options? Oh god, where did it go? It's meant to be over here. Uh-oh. What have I done? Help me out here, hotkey list. Should be a list over at the left-hand side that lets me do all these actions like buying land, selling land, building roads. And I'm seeing nothing there. Tab, show and hide the toolbar? It's a different thing entirely. I just gotta push a lot of buttons and hope that one of them works. God knows what I've done here. Click the button in the very bottom left. Ah, thank you. Yeah, I clicked on that when I was meant to click on here and that got rid of it. Well done, Metzel. Saved me from a wee bit of a panic there. Not that I ever dream of panicking around here. So, where was I at? I needed to designate this land as something I could actually build on again. And then get to it by actually building on it. 2 mega factories, one for diesel and one for not diesel. Where is gasoline? Here we go. Biofuel. And diesel fuel. There we go. Okay, outside of that, everything seems to be going well here. What about the software? It all looks good. Oh, we got some that are not though. Photo editor and database software. And travel software. These are things that are used as goods in other things, aren't they? Yeah, so I want a manufacturer for photo, database, and travel. Is that it? Photo, database, and travel? This stuff does sell. Alright, photo, database, and travel. Mega factory is probably overkill, but there's no kill like overkill. Right, software, photo. Oh right, you need to do it in a different way, don't you? This one. Photo, oh Christ, what's my photo stuff called? Is it photo edit? I should check the names. Right, well the travel software, it's called Perfect Database? Is that really what I call it? I guess. So, Perfect Database, and that's also called Perfect Database. Oh, you're confusing me, game. What the heck is this stuff called? Why would my travel software also be called Perfect Database? Right, well, Perfect Photo Edit 18 is one of them. That's near the bottom, I believe. Don't forget to turn on e-commerce for the new factories. I completely forgot, and that's going to be a pain in the bum. Thanks for that, though. So that was the photo edit. It's database version 14. Why is the travel software called database as well, though? Oh well, doesn't matter. Get them both out there. So it was database 14 and perfect database 33. Let's make sure they're actually operational and then see it's the right one. Yeah, database, photo editor, and travel software. God knows why it was also called database, but there you go. Right, firm, factory. Let's make sure they're all operating with e-commerce. Again, why on earth you can't just automatically have e-commerce turned on for factories, I'll never understand. I turn them all on for everything, even things that are mid-products, just because it's less hassle for me. Wow, the paper is... Ah, I think the paper problem wasn't with factories, but with timber. Alright, looks good, and that tells me I need a lot more timber in my life. I mean, these guys are working flat out, chopping down trees, and they're already pretty high leveled. We just need to locate more timber. Where can a man find some more timber? I already grab a lot of timber from a lot of places. In fact, there might not be more timber on the map, that could be a problem. I don't see any more. See, it would be a T on the minimap here. Dang. It's not a huge deal, but I certainly want everything to be produced. Maybe we'll get lucky and some more timber will spawn somewhere. I think once everything gets taken up, they just keep spawning more, but I'm seeing a limit there on the old timber, and I do have it consolidated, don't I? Ah, here's my timber. Maybe the problem is that they're not taking it from here. Looks like there's plenty to be had. So I can go to my paper place, and I can say, yeah, oh, they are getting it from the warehouse. Ah. You're not working flat out though, are you? Maybe it's just that lots of different places are putting all their paper strain on you. Yeah, maybe that wasn't the problem. Maybe I just do need a lot more paper mills set up. Oh well, if you think you need more, here's more. Can always shut them down if they aren't going to be useful to me. Still huge unemployment in Vancouver, even a fair bit in Chengdu, probably because I tore down all my R&D. That's going to come and bite me soon. I need to figure out a way around that. I still want to double check on all of my industries though, so I need to check Grimsby as well. So I just go through them all. Again, I'm looking... Oh! Feather beds for whatever reason. Never imagined that people would need that many more feather beds in their life, but I think some of these warehouses aren't operational, right? So I can go here, and what is feather bed under? Is that... What is that? Is that furniture? Is feather bed a different kind of bed? No, feather bed is a household product. So H for household product. How foolish of me to think that that was something else. Wool, not available. How can that be? I know I have wool. Actually, that might have been why there was not enough for demand. But I already built up more wool farms. It's just a case of waiting for that wool to be available. So that's no big deal. It will be waiting for shearing season. Oh! I wasn't aware that they had seasons for that, but I guess they do. Alright, if that's the case, there's no need to worry about the beds. I just need to wait for the wool. What else we got? Everything else seems fine here. Even the nautical stuff looks okay. Again, I could just be going through the factories like this. What was struggling there? That's the feather beds, of course. Looks good. And Chengdu. That was a bit of a struggle on something there. It's just apparel. That's okay. Seems to be doing alright overall. I really overbuilt on the... Right, so some of this I assume is just the wool shortage. As soon as that wool comes through, all these guys are going to be fine. Okay, that's okay. Now, I need to sort out governance. Now, all the governments are making decent money, except for Sydney right now. But I can't take this on face value, because some of it could be proceeds from land sale. Actually, none of it... Nope. Gotta scroll through it here. Okay, nobody's caring about land sale anymore. They seem to be doing okay, but I can't trust that. Especially since currently... Well, it's expansion for 2 of them, but depression is setting in. I need to make sure things work out fine for the government. Fortunately, I'm in charge. So I'm going to go to the policies for everywhere, and I am going to significantly increase taxes. Hopefully, this will be okay. And I'm going to significantly cut down unemployment benefits. I might even kill them altogether. Screw the unemployed. But yeah, the government needs its money, and it will be getting it through high taxes. That's an incredible tax hike from, yeah, tripling the tax rate. I don't mind taxing myself so much. That money has to go to some use. It might as well go to the government to stop the government from going bankrupt. What I need to manage is the quality of life to ensure that there is still immigration. So that's going to be a bit of a balancing act. Okay, there. If you raise taxes too high, it has a negative effect on people's quality of life. Go figure. But hopefully 15-ish% is enough. I'm not really acquainted with this game. Why would you have unemployment benefits at all? Because it improves quality of life. Social Security here is the unemployment benefits, and if that is high, the overall quality of life will be higher. And overall quality of life is what spurs on immigration. And I do need a net benefit on... I need a net plus on immigration. Environment is always going to cause immigration, because everywhere is so polluted with my factories and raw goods. So I need to make up for it in other things. The housing and community facilities, I can deal with that, and that's their biggest thing that they're concerned about. So I am actually going to make my rents very, very low. Yeah, let's set rent to like 20% to really increase that quite a lot. And just by doing that, there we go, housing and community facilities look good. Yeah, look at all that jobs and income emigration in Vancouver, because there's not enough jobs here. Social security and environment, all really bad. In fact, quality of life in Vancouver is really low, so I need to do what I can to improve that. Individual income tax level also impacts jobs and income, so maybe I could... It was individuals tax, right? Maybe if I drop that down to about 20%. Huh, suddenly that's a lot better, right. What was the other thing that that I could do? Customer tax rate. Lowers the amount they're willing to spend, but I do want to tax these people quite a bit on it. What if I make it 10% then? We'll go for something a lot more middling. That means that the government is going to have to make a lot of its money on taxing me, but I have an idea for that. An idea that I should put into effect as soon as I do this adjustment. There we go. Vancouver's the biggest problem, I just don't want to cause too much emigration. Social security. Alright, maybe we'll give these people like a little bit of unemployment pay. See if we can't just stop the emigration and that. I can't avoid emigration from environmental concerns, but the other ones I should do my best to stop. They all think Social Security is god-awful. Alright, how much do I have to pay people to stop them from emigrating? 15%? 10%? I don't know how quickly this update... Okay, 10%. 10% seems not unbelievable as long as unemployment isn't through the roof. We'll try going with this, but I need to make sure that the books are balanced for all the governments. So I'm going to balance them out in a big way. I am going to take Slick Luigi, and I am going to duplicate him in every city, because the problem is almost all of my money comes through Slick Luigi here. He makes unbelievable money, and that means unbelievable taxes. It's March, and he's already paid 1.1 billion to the government. So what I'm going to do is everywhere just build that up, which means they need a place for doing so. Why don't I just allow this for building on, and then I buy the land for myself. And I'll put my industries and stuff here and sort them out later. For now, though, let's build our digital age internet company. Just slam you down over here. And I need 4 more names for Amazon-style companies, preferably not actual existing companies, but something fun for this. There'll be my e-commerce firm. I need to make sure that they are marketed through my own. And honestly, I can market it with whatever I have, but I'd rather use my best. So Scrub Tube. And Ask Layton. What else do I have? Caesar's Forum. And I've got Passepartout's Gallery. Those are my top advertisers, so it's linked there. Recycle the homeless. Why don't you just buy the government? I did buy the government. Shop reduction starts. I don't like that name at all, Aether. Sets his own taxes just like real multinationals. As well I should, but I'm doing this for the good of the government. It's actually going to cost my company money, but I need to stay in power, so I need to tax myself enough that that money shows up as government's. So really I'm just cooking the books. Right, trying to think of e-commerce firms. So, brilliant way to end your presidency, just sell the country. Blasto's Blobgistics. I watched Heldon yesterday. I don't like that name, but I do like the idea of the Galactic Credit. That'll be another e-commerce firm. Chengdu needs an e-commerce firm as well. the game is paused, or else the AI might buy out this land. Now, I need to build up my own... Well, actually, a better way to do it is just mark a bunch of it as usable land, so that if I have need for it, I can. There we go. And now I build up my own digital age internet company. I need a lot more of these, by the way. Whoops, did I... Wait, I set that as allowable. Why did it not let me build it? Banking of digital age internet company. Location is not next to roads. This looks like a road to me. Maybe the game just doesn't believe it is. Anyway, there you go. I like that one. Road to Rome. Alright, Road to Rome, another e-commerce site, and again, keep that internet advertising going. On Passepartout. On Caesar's Forum. Definitely want to advertise Road to Rome on Caesar's Forum. Ask Leighton. And ScrubTube. Shame I can't just copy paste these settings across. Right, Toulouse needs one as well. And hey, I got space red over here for it. I should only need one internet company for e-commerce in each place, and all the other internet companies are going to be shoved in Vancouver. Which, on that note, I need to make more of them, but at least there's no competition. So here we go, another e-commerce. And what do we have? No free shipping. Which is true, the customers pay shipping themselves in this game if they buy off of e-commerce. I like that. No free shipping, it's like our trucking company never coming back. ScrubTube, there we go. And last and least, we need one in Sydney as well. Just have all this land as buildable, buy it for myself, because, you know, I know best. Of course I know best, I'm the government. I'm also the government's top customer. Digital Age, internet company, here we go, another e-commerce place. And the Penny Punisher. Oh, sure. Right, link it up with the internet again, Passepartout, max you out, Caesar's Forum, up you go. Wrong one there, that's just Caesar's Forum again. Ask Leighton, and ScrubTube. There are other advertising firms, but I like using these for the most. They have amazing reach, and I'm just familiar with them. Okay, so now that everywhere has their own one, Slick Luigi's, I expect, is going to lose a lot of profit, but the others will make that profit. Net amount for me is going to be roughly the same, but it means that each of the governments can tax me and make legitimate money through my totally legitimate e-commerce. So that will mean, hopefully, that all the governments are profitable with their staggering 40% tax rate on me, and that means I'm not going to risk losing them. But what's the point in all this money going to the government? The government needs to keep all this running well for me, and there's a few things I can do for them. One thing is that I need the government to run a lot of civil buildings. Universities, hospitals, city halls, fire stations, police stations. I just clumped them here in the interest of giving a boost to the... wrong one. Apartment building. Give a nice boost to their communal facilities and the market rate of all this, but I need to think it out a bit better. There's actually an overall supply and demand index for each of these buildings, which I believe scales linearly with population. Unfortunately, that means that this fairly small footprint of an area is currently desiring... the nine police stations it has is not reaching demand. They want a lot more than 9 of them, probably because the game expects it to be spread out across all this map, but it's not. It's super condensed over here. Now that means that I need to super condense up my police stations and such, bit of a pain, so I need to find a good place to be putting them all down. And it's not just police stations, it's all of these. So I think I'm going to be moving all the buildings over here and just kind of stretching it down as far as it is needed, although I might need to flank on them given just how many they need. I've got 4 hospitals and they only meet that amount. Although, there's another way I could look at it. I could just spam them on the flanks here. There'd be a bit more space for it that way. A bit uglier though. In any case, the government actually needs to own the land to put them in on, so I need to, with a heavy heart, sell this land to the government. And what I can do is I can actually... Oh, well, let's have a bigger one. I can actually set this land as do not build land. That way, even though I've sold it, my competitors can't use it. But the government can, funnily enough, still build on do not build land. So there you go. Oh, gotta make sure we do the top as well. Is that a lot of it? It is a lot of it. So the government could now, for example, build a police station right here. Of course, why build when I could just move one over? What I should do at least is have all of the buildings available here. There's an apartment here, for example, that still has decent community building access. These guys are a bit far away, but we have a map mode for it actually. This shows everyone's access to hospitals, their access to city halls, their fire station access. As long as all these people have those, we're good to go. So what I need to do is move each of these over. Tricky thing is to find each of them to move over. So we've already got a hospital and a university, a city hall, fire station, police station. I need to find everything else and move them over. I don't know if stadium is one of the things that people care about. Stadium is a bit perturbing because it's 4x4. 4x4 is an ugly size for me to have to deal with. Let's focus on 3x3 first. There's not a high school, for example. So let's bring the high school over here. Probably need a grade school and a middle school too. Locating them is going to be a bit of a pain. So maybe I should go corporation government and filter by those. That doesn't help much, does it? No, it doesn't. Did I move over a high school or a middle school? That's a high school, so let's also bring over a middle school. The rest of them I think I will just build to meet demand, because as long as people have access to it, the rest is just a numbers game of building up demand. It's kind of like culture in Caesar 3 now that I think about it. Need a grade school. Where's the grade school? Well, need a library as well, so let's shove a library over here. There is a fire station already, good to know. Now these buildings are expensive. The monthly cost of one high school is $6 million. And that's just one. There are 4 in the city and they have a 71 supply demand index, which is quite good. Oh, museums. I don't think I have a museum over here, do I? It certainly doesn't look like it, so over you come. So I've got all the schools, right? Did I ever find a grade school? No, I didn't. What do grade schools even look like? That's a grade school. And there's very low amount of them for what they need here. They need more grade schools. Let's pop you over here then. I think I'm going to need more space for these. Dang, I might need to rethink my design for this. That's okay though. Rethinking as we go along is all part of it. What else have I not got here? Civic buildings. I've got City Hall, got you. I think I've got them all here. But I probably also want sports facilities or stadium. Is there a supply and demand for stadiums? There is. Now the reason I'm looking into all of this is not because I care about just how good these apartment buildings have it. It's because it's considered quality of life. They want to have safety so that they have overall satisfaction with police and fire. They want culture, which means they need museums and city halls. And they want sports from the public facilities. I don't know if golf courses and such count into it. I hope it doesn't. They don't care much about sports, but that's an easy thing for me to fill in, whereas dealing with the other factors can be a lot harder, and I need to boost this quality of life as much as I can, because the jobs and income's probably going to suffer. These are also job creators, which is good. Health is a big consideration. Education is huge as well. So, I want to fill these up. And as people need more, I will build more. So how do we handle that? Thankfully, they don't all need to be moved over here, but I want there to be access to everything here. What? Sports facilities. Soccer fields are also 4x4. The sports facilities are in general a bit of a pain given their size. Ooh, you don't need to be connected to anything. It's kind of cool. That means I can put down 2 tennis courts here and then demolish this bit of road. And then I can build a stadium here. That's not bad. That gives these people all that access. Of course, there's still the consideration of golf and soccer. Soccer, the words this game's making me say. Both of them 4x4s. Frustratingly 4x4s. What I could do though is build another couple civic buildings here. I think they were low on police stations, right? Oh, very low. So what I can do is go, not City Hall, I can go police station. Oh god, Jake, come on, pick the right one. Civic building, police station, 1, 2, maybe even 3? Yeah, why the heck not? And then delete the road. And then I can build a... what kind of sports facility? Soccer field here? See, as long as it's next to a road when I build it, it's okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, get rid of that. And then build myself a golf course. There we go, we can see how happy they are with this for a wee bit. Right, I haven't saved in forever, so just save over the old one. So my new unfortunate goal, it's unfortunate because it's so expensive, is to make sure that the government has all of these things built up. Now they should, yeah, they'll automatically put these into proper operation, and the supply and demand index should fill up accordingly. I also need to spend a bit on upgrades and that, but now I need to make sure that the government is profitable. I, of course, don't want to lose all of my money. In fact, I made a big loss recently, but I'm sure that'll be okay. Emigration on Social Security and Social Security still? Maybe I need to pay more unemployment stuff. I really do not want to have to pay too much in unemployment benefits because that stuff is expensive to do so. But I cannot afford the emigration. I need a net immigration or else this entire project will fail. I don't care how miserable people are, as long as I have net immigration and the government and myself are profitable, then we're okay. Sydney is struggling to be profitable, but I've only just set up the Penny Punisher, and it'll be a while before they start making some real ultra money there. Not too long though, I hope. Look at that, 15 tennis courts, and it's not really meeting the demand here. Maybe if you had actually had this thing fully funded, people would... Oh, right, the supply and demand for universities. Looks like there isn't such a huge amount of demand for universities, not compared to hospitals. That's good. I see the mansion is still there. Yeah, you don't seem to want to sell it anytime soon. Neither does Cao Cao. Wait, where's Cao Cao? Maybe I actually managed to buy Cao Cao. Yeah, I thought it was slam bang in the middle of here. But he appears to be gone. Or maybe I'm just not seeing him anymore because I've blanked him out mentally. Alright, this is very agreeable. As I said, the main concern is keeping immigration net positive. The overall quality of life seems pretty good. Vancouver's certainly the worst because of that horrible unemployment. And I need to find a way to solve that unemployment issue in Vancouver. Maybe I can set up a lot of social civil buildings here, which will solve the issue. So if I have this come out like so, why did that not work? Oh, because it needs to come out for an existing road. If I put a lot of civil buildings here and over here too, That might solve some problems for me. Just get rid of these pesky roads for a bit. Yeah, unfortunately I can't build through these houses. Nor can I build through this land that I own myself. Okay, and if what I do is I bring the city up to fully meet all those needs, it might improve the quality of life here enough to offset some of those other problems and even consume some of that accursed unemployment. Never imagined it would come to the... Oh Christ, these guys need to go. Let's just get rid of those houses. Buy houses. And then sell the land. Sell all that land. Government can have it back as long as government builds on it. Fortunately, Vancouver has loads of money united. Libraries, for example, 3 of them only fill up the demand by that much. So the obvious thing to do is go and build 6 libraries. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Grade schools, there are 9. Oh, crikey, that means I need 18 grade schools. Oh well, grade school. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This is getting a bit ridiculous. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Maybe I could just ignore the need for grade schools, kind of like in Caesar 3 where you ignore the need for academies. Because that's a huge amount that they need. High schools are much more reasonable. 4 gives them 71, so 2 more high schools should keep us good. Is there a duplicate button here? There is not. Civic building, high school, no, it's middle school. Yeah, maybe I should just ignore grade schools. That's a huge amount of them. Middle schools, or was middle school what I just did? Middle school, 7 out of 7 is 94, so 1 more of those should be fine. Since education is a big concern for people, so maybe I shouldn't be so dismissive of the idea. I'll just test this out in Vancouver and see how it works, because if it ends up being that this doesn't affect immigration so much, then I'm not going to want to invest in it in all the other places. I forgot what I was building. Middle school or high school? Middle school. Civic building, middle school. Civic building, middle school. I feel like I still chose the wrong one there somehow. Fortunately, the setup costs for these are tiny. As we saw, we have more universities than we need. We're not even paying for them all, so that's fine. Hospital need, 4 of them is only half of what we need. I should honestly build 5 more of them. Sadly, hospitals are huge. Not as huge as universities though, but still a 4x4 is a painful thing to have to build. Maybe I should just build them along here and have this as the designated hospital place? Nah, because I'd want to move them around later on, wouldn't I? I certainly would. Right, what I can do... 4x4s are really complicated, because at least with 2s and 3s, you can merge them together to make 5x5. And there is, of course, the 5x5 university, but 4x4s... I guess 4x4s sneak into these kinds of areas here. So maybe that would actually work out a little better. Alright, that's a good idea, actually. We'll roll with that for a wee bit. So what I will do is I'll get rid of these. I will buy this land to get rid of all these bloomin' houses. I will immediately sell these bloomin' houses. And let's build a road out here, which does the 1, 2, 3, 4, and ups a daisy. And this is where I can put in all the things that have 4x4 demands in them. So that would be... well, those hospitals for 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hospitals. This is going to be so expensive for the government to run. How are you on city halls? 4 of them. You need about 5 more, so... This could bankrupt the city, by the way. I'm very, very concerned about that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hopefully the more people coming in means more business, means more taxes, but it also means more need for civil buildings. It also means more unemployment to pay unemployment benefits to, so yeah, I'm concerned in a number of ways, but we've got to make this work somehow. Police stations, 12 of them. Oh my goodness, that's scary stuff. Maybe I could just say no to police stations and say yes to fire stations. What's the cost difference? Monthly expense of a fire station is about 6 million. Police station, 6 million. And I don't like that. That's scary stuff. Gotta consider the geographical coverage, because one of these buildings over here, for example... Wait, apparently you have maximum location convenience? Who's going to this city hall? Oh, that's for all of them. I see, I see. Probably because everyone has access to the city hall. Let the firemen enforce the law themselves. Might be a better option than building 12 more police stations. That's ridiculous. Well, at the very least I can build 7 more fire stations with relative impunity. So, civic building, fire station, 1, 2, how many did I say I'd build? 3, 4... I think I said 7. I do have a terrible habit of just forgetting anything I say or think a few moments later. And I wish I could rotate the map here, get a better idea of what's going on here. So I built 4, probably want 3 more then. Civic building... Fire station, 1, 2, 3. I mean, the locations of these are bleeding awful, but everybody lives here, so they're all getting access to it anyway. How about tennis courts? I've got 15 of them, and that's nowhere near meeting demand, but that just means I can build up a lot more of them. Tennis court, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There we go, 16 more of them. How could they complain about that? How about stadiums? They want a lot more stadiums. Aren't stadiums mega expensive? Of course they are. Right, stadium, 1, 2, 3, that'll have to do you. Soccer fields, again I want more of those, I want more of everything. Soccer field, that'll do you for now. Okay, let's see how that performs, shall we? Scarily. This is gonna worry. This city design makes me cry internally, says Kicked. Yeah, me too. It's just the horrible commie block, and if you break out of it and you manage to get through my outer wall of banks and insurance companies, then you can go to school. That grade school, what is that? It's like the world's most depressing little playground. Anyway, get through that and you can go and, yeah, play tennis, play in the stadium. I didn't want to give them any of these, but I don't think I'll be able to maintain net positive immigration without fulfilling these, because quality of life is going to be difficult without it. Forgive me for hoping that all these would be going way up. They are actively going up, though. Oh god, they don't like my unemployment benefits. It's also important that the income statement is working for them. Okay, Vancouver is struggling after I built all of those facilities for them. They're struggling in a big way. They're losing about $1 billion in the year to date. Yeah, that's a bit of a shame. Although part of it is what they lost in land sales. Could always up the tax rate, but I'm already taxing myself as hard as I can. It's hurting for them, I suppose, because Slick Luigi is going to make less money now. Would have been nice if there was a crime layer, brings down profits reduced by police stations to bring the yeah, there's a lot of that's a lot of city builder focused stuff. That this game isn't a city builder. It's worth remembering that. And I hope my competitors haven't been taking the opportunity to build up more firms during this time, because I might have made mistakes with how I've set things up here. They always had that R&D center, you always had that disastrous TV station, and then there are the Ravens, who I hope someday go public so that I can buy them out. Right now, however, the Ravens are immune to all financial attacks because they own a very profitable setup here. They have loads, they got 2.2 billion worth of bonds, so they're constantly making stuff on that. However, they seem to own a fair bit of CapLab's bonds, and CapLab is definitely on a route to bankruptcy. That'll be a loss for them, and a loss for them is laughter for me. Look at that, timber just can't keep up. There must be timber out there that I have not been exploiting, but where? I thought it just kept spawning more raw good stuff. Maybe the problem is that I own all of this stuff where it wants to set up timber, and now it can't. I can try that. I can try selling off this land and hoping that timber will spawn here. As long as I set it to do not build land. Well, this is pretty grim, actually. Well, just for the timber, which is hardly a large part of everything. Okay, well, as hideous as things are, they seem to be working. Vancouver, however, oh god, they're losing big money in Vancouver. How can I sort Vancouver's problem out? I could just say, screw the unemployed. That would save me... not enough to justify it. I don't even spend that much on unemployment here. Where's the money coming out? Healthcare and education are costing me damn near everything. And I'm not giving them a lot of corporate profit here. Nowhere near enough. That's a shame. How am I not making them so much money? I got Slick Luigi's here, which should be making loads of profit tax for them. I have so many things that run a negative that it's probably counting as tax deductible. So that's making it very hard for the government to take my hard-earned money away from me. Unemployment benefits, healthcare, education, how dreadful. Yeah. Could you overemploy a city, give amazing unemployment benefits for free quality of living? I mean, I'd have to be paying for that. But I don't know of any good ways to employ people profitably. And if it's not profitably, it's probably not going to work out very well for me. It'll just cost me money down the line. It's not very in with the theme of the game either. Full or partial. Automatically they're bringing down the cost here. Maybe you could stop paying the staff so much? Do they really need all that training? I mean, look, that training is a huge part of the cost. And do they really need these facility upgrades? Well, if you decide to do, I guess they do. Private firemen that way. Yeah, it'd be nice if I owned these. I could turn these into profitable organizations. Still, even with all those built, it doesn't seem to have improved the quality of life in Vancouver. Oh, right, it's just taking time to catch up. It is catching up, though. It's some decent quality of life. But it's all for cannot if I can't make it profitable for the city. Because if the city runs a loss, then that's no good. I need that city making more money to the point where I will even go and increase the tax rate. I think I will try my luck up here again at the 15 and 30%. The reason I didn't do that was because it hurt jobs and income and apparently causes emigration. But maybe everything else will be so good that it's still okay. Hard to say. I don't like it being that bad, but unemployment rate is a big deal in this one. If I just employed more people, it'd be fine, but employing people is hard work. Could always set up more banks and things. I mean, look, there's even waiting times for some of these banks. How in the world is there waiting time when the entire street is bank? Unthinkable, but at least bank branches actually employ people. There you go. Oh, Christ. Put you in the wrong place there. Shove down some insurance. Shove down some more banks. Just try and get that unemployment. The unemployment, I think, is reassessed every month or so. Environment 0. Yeah, there's so much pollution thanks to all of my factories, and that's never gone away. Even though I localized the pollution largely. Oh, the Ice Court of Kislev is on the brink of bankruptcy. You know what? I think I will buy them out. How much was it to acquire you? You have nothing other than that one firm, right? And your stock price couldn't be lower. Acquiring you costs 5 million. Well, that's pretty damn cheap. Do you want to acquire? Yeah, I'll acquire you and not merge you. And that way I'll keep a subsidiary under me. But we need to do some stuff with you here. You're not allowed to issue shares. You're not allowed to close anything down. I don't really want you doing anything. Can I have you do expand in stock? I don't think I can tell a subsidiary of mine to just get into stock, can I? Invest in other companies. Not sure if that counts as it. Anyway. Do you have a headquarters for me to do things to? Because I need to get rid of Giant Nerd Carter for one. Oh well, I'll spare him then. I do, however, need to get rid of their one firm though. So here they go. Oh, they're still broke, but I can do a bit of a cash injection for them. There's that one firm, though. Let's see. Yeah, it's not profitable at all. Just demolish that and sell the land. And that should put you in the positive, because you sold all that land. There you go. Now just do not do anything, and I'm sure you'll be fine, Kislev. I'm happy that my company is making loads of money United, but again, if the government doesn't make money, we're at a loss. Oh, but we've done it! Vancouver is making money, probably because I told them to jack up the taxes for everything. But the big question is, are we still getting people coming in? And the answer is, yeah, it's tough. More people need to be employed. Big boost in Sydney, boost in Toulouse. Kind of breaking even on Chengdu. Big boost in Grimsby. So really, people are coming in where there are jobs. Making those jobs is looking tough. I need to think of a way to employ people. Profitably at that. Well, one thing that I haven't done and I want to do is make more internet companies. So I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to get rid of this road. And this road, and build a new road out here. Hopefully a road that can continue up. Over we go. Let's make sure that this land is for sale. And then let's move them over. So for one, I'm going to have my advertising all clumped together. Ask Leighton, Caesar's Forum, and Passepartout's Gallery, all there. 4 of them should be fine. Need to make sure that I own this land. God help me if somebody comes along and tries to take it for themselves. And then the others will be on this side. Slick Luigi, Pod Racer, Notflix, and I believe there are other internet companies that I have not gotten into. Let's make sure I've got all of them though. My firms, internet companies, in all cities. Wow, that's quite a few of them. I've got Instagram, stock trade, and YouTube here. I think I'm just going to get rid of them all. I don't want internet companies other than my e-commerce outside of outside of Vancouver. So keep that, keep the road to Rome, keep the galactic credit, and all the others should be over here. I got some Google out here. Bye bye Google. Profitable, but I don't want it. So what do I have? Penny, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then all of them here. Excellent. Now let's just make sure they're all set up, shall we? So I have e-commerce, car rental, and video on demand. I don't know what all the other ones are though. And no, I couldn't move those internet companies from the other places to Vancouver. You can't move them from one city to another. Let me think. Digital Age, internet companies, set you up. I've already got e-commerce. I've got as much advertising as I want. I don't have a news website. Let's see. I've got cars, videos, and news. I need to counter the other ones though. Cars, videos, and news. I want online auction and online stock trading. And I will need names for these. So what was that? Online auction, online stock trading. I thought I had these. Maybe I tore them down earlier on. And do I have hotel booking? I don't think I have hotel booking. Hopefully I've got all the tech needed for all of these. Oh wow, I've got, I don't have the auction web technology for this. But there is no top tech, so since I have the top tech, it should be fine. 100 times total tech divided by top tech. The top tech is 0. Not sure if it actually needs anything there. My tech of 30 should suffice. Right. So. Rested Pandy sends that the online stock trading should be rollthedice.com. Doesn't look so good with that capitalization, does it? Roll the dice. We don't do domain stuff here, so we'll just call it that. We need a name for hotel booking, online auctioning, and news. Baron says JNN, but I have no idea what JNN would meant to be. Maybe something related to CNN. Since I don't trust Dale Gribble to set up the marketing for it, I always like to do that myself. I don't feel like he links media for these kinds of things automatically. He'll set the pricing, but I think you need to manually link the media. Not saying I'm 100% sure on that, but that's certainly how it feels at times. Besides, I own the marketing, it doesn't cost me anything to do this. I just pay the money to myself, from myself. And this is all a fresh new market, so hopefully fresh new money to be made off of it. Hotels escape from Vancouver. I like that. Escape from Vancouver. Is that how you spell Vancouver? No, there's an O in it, isn't there? I can see it at the top right of the screen. There we go. Escape from Vancouver. You know what? I should be doing spaces in this. I did spaces for the other ones and it looked better. There we go. Escape from Vancouver. I like Roll the Dice as a single name, though. Collector lodging. Close, but no. Right, news website. Leroy says it should be BS News. That still leaves us with a name for the online auction site, so think that one up as I link up this media. Passepartout's Gallery. Caesar's Forum. Ask Leighton. Banished Music kicking in once again. Thank you, Banished. And that means I should be done with internet companies and I'll never need to touch them again because they should just sit back and make me money. Well, there is something to be said for making the other advertising firms. They might make money off of local advertising, but I don't know if it would cannibalize each other. Because I think we've seen a fair bit of cannibalization before. Looking at it, local advertisers aren't using my stuff here at all. Maybe local advertisers prefer traditional media. Where's my traditional media? I think I moved it over here somewhere. Although now I can't remember. Although maybe there's just not a lot of traditional or a lot of companies that aren't my own trying to advertise here. Well, sucks to be them. Right, what was the online shit? Tat for cash. No, I prefer receipts. Vendors. The Relics Bay. Okay, there we go. Again, those guys will take a while to get some traction, but when they do, they should be making me some decent dosh. I'm happy to see Vancouver working well on that, but I need more jobs created here. And Chengdu really needs some new jobs. It's hard to think what to spam to create those jobs, though. It needs to be something quite spammable, something that would fit into this whole... Ugh, this is a horror show, isn't it? Actually, maybe as that quality of life is going up for Vancouver... is it really going up? I guess the problem is that people don't really seem to care so much about safety culture and sports. But people care a lot about jobs and income. Not to mention their housing situation. Tell you what, since I don't make money off it anyway, I could go to my real estate department and just say, free housing for all. And that will immediately bump up the quality of life everywhere because their housing and their access to community facilities is through the roof. Education is still a little iffy because I didn't want to build a gorillion different grade schools. Actually, as they get better, we're cutting down on the funding of them, which is rather nice. So what's the problem? Is it universities? I thought I had loads of universities. I do. I also got grade schools aplenty. What's your problem? Schools and universities can be viewed in the public faculties page. I have a public faculty. Ooh, here we go. Does this show all of them? I think it does. Yeah, overall satisfaction looks pretty good. Maybe it just takes a while to train these people up. Sweden will never have free housing for all. The housing market in this place is messed up to the core. At least I get to be part of the problem instead of just mad at it now. Okay, we have this problem. Everything else looks good, and all the governments are making money, but quality of life, not quality of life, unemployment remains a big problem. And I don't want to embrace infinite unemployment because I still need to pay these people their tiny unemployment benefits. I wonder if I can get away with slightly lower tax, since we seem to be making a profit anyway. What's the income statement for Vancouver like when I do that? I'm curious about, say, last month. Hey, they're making fat money. That should be fine. How are they making so much money? Oh, that customer tax or consumer tax is pretty high. Maybe, though... No, Vancouver's in a depression. A big depression, actually. So that's kind of good for me. I'm actually pretty happy with that tax being as high as it is. As long as there's a surplus for the cities, we're okay. And as best as I can tell, all of them are profitable. Some more than others. Grimsby is making mega bucks. 10 billion a year coming into Grimsby. And that, well, actually, I'm still making 100 billion. I figured my own profits would be coming down, especially given the depression. Everywhere's in a depression. Toulouse has a 30% GDP shrinkage right now. That is insane. Well, they're still spending money for me, which is good. I need ideas, folks. How do we reduce the unemployment? The obvious answer is to employ people, because I still need the population to grow, and that will still bring up the unemployment rate. But the only thing I think I can do to impact the unemployment is to build things for people to work in. Firing squads, that will impact the population and also isn't possible. Retail stores are out of the question, we're not doing retail. Factories are somewhat out of the question because I've already maxed out all of the production that I can for everything that I can think to do. Look at that, demand is being met for everything, so I'm not going to be able to do anything significant by building up more factories, and if I make warehouses that are just surplus to requirements, they're just going to cost me for no good reason, so I'm not keen on that. Other options? R&D is somewhat out of the question. I've researched everything I need to do. No point of building more. I mean, I suppose there is, but there's a... Oh, well, couldn't I... I wonder if I could tell Archibald Vile to do research as he wants. I don't know if he hires and fires people, though. I already farm for all the stuff I need. I don't need more warehouses, although I don't think I've consolidated all of my raw goods yet. Natural raw resources, I think all of the resources that I could possibly need I already make. R&D centers get perfect tech. As long as it's over 100, then there's no need for more tech unless you have competition. And I don't have competition, so that's not an idea. It's not one that I can get behind. Media firms, I'm pretty sure I already have media everywhere. And even if I don't, that's not a lot of... not a lot to build. I thought I was looking at media. No, here we go. All media firms. Should be 3 here. Radio, newspaper, TV. Radio, newspaper, TV. Newspaper, radio, TV. Radio, TV, newspaper. TV, newspaper. Radio. Radio, TV, newspaper. Good. So they've all got all the media firms. Mansions don't employ people. I don't think. Huh, what if they do? I didn't test that. I mean, there's no way they would employ people, but what if they do? They don't have any ongoing costs. That would be ridiculous, but what if they do? Because then I could just make an ocean of mansions. Alright, the current unemployment rate in Vancouver is 5.54. Let's build about 20 mansions and see if it has any effect. What do commercial buildings do? Aren't those just generic offices? They are, and they do consume unemployment. However, there's only so many you ever really need. I've got all of these buildings right here, and this one, for example, is 13% full. Doesn't even really make me a profit. And the amount of people that it employs is minimal. I would just end up with an ocean of these things which end up being not profitable. I might just have to accept that whatever I do to employ people will be non-profitable though. But I'm not willing to go for that just yet. Anyway, for now, let's buy this land, for myself of course. And let's see if mansions are the way forward, because mansions don't cost upkeep. And if, for some odd reason, mansions consume unemployment, we might be onto a winner here. So again, could someone write this in chat, please? 5.54 unemployment in Vancouver. And maybe write the population as well, which is 1.69 million. If only Vancouver was that low on population. This land is not available. Oh right, some of it is and some of it is not. Don't we have some bigger mansions? Looks like they vary in size. In that case, let's build the biggest ones. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, if 10... Oh, let's do even... No, if 10 doesn't affect unemployment, then a larger number won't really matter. Oh, that's copper in Toulouse. I wanted more. Also, my insurance company is out of cash. There you go, take that and play with it. I haven't been fiddling around with my insurance money in a wee while. Maybe I should. Bank appears to be losing a lot of money, probably because of this whole depression thing. I don't know how big or bad this depression's going to be, but I believe my bank, it'll be fine. I'm glad somebody wrote those numbers for me, because I've already forgotten what was going on. It's 5.54. Let's just turbo through a month and see if we can Oh jeez, my insurance company is hemorrhaging money. What's going on? Take this 10 billion and quit whining at me. You don't happen to have money that's just floating around, do you? Oh, you've got 50 billion, which is currently not being invested. How are the global stocks doing? Your global owned stocks are all doing terribly. Oh, damn, there's a big slump, isn't there? I should have checked these before. I'm sure I could have made money on them previous. Also, why do I have 1% of boots? Get rid of that. No one needs 1% of boots. Some peculiar numbers here now, aren't there? Right, anything that I don't own that wow, everything is slumping. This is the ideal opportunity to start buying up stocks. Alright, let's look at everything that's really sad. Ashland, for example, is very sad, so buy into Ashland. That said, that's after they've had a big boost. Barlow World, I already own Barlow World, don't I? Bristol Myers. And ChemX. And oh my goodness, Colonial Bank Group. They look incredibly sad. Buy a bunch of that. There we go. Good job, my insurance. Jake, you've killed the world economy. That's okay. Does every building need direct road access? Most of them need direct road access when you build them, but afterwards you can take away the road and there's no problem. For example, if I wanted to build another mansion... Oh, you can build mansions without road access. There are some exceptions. Mansions and R&D centers do not need road access ever. But this commercial building couldn't be built here, but it could be built here. And then I could remove the road and that'd be okay. Sure, Archibald Vile, take all the money. And my goodness, my insurance company is struggling. Take this 10 billion and stop complaining at me. It's still 5.54. I'm going to give it the turn of the month just to be absolutely sure, but... Holy moly, what is happening to my insurance company? I built all those insurance places in the hopes that it would make me money, not cost me money. I have no competition. The underwritten profit is going down. Maybe people are claiming on lots of insurance right now. Or maybe the sheer amount of them that I built dropped the quality of service. Ah, it makes even less sense. Maybe previously people were stuck in too long a line to make their insurance claims, and now that they can go and make their claims, they're taking all my bleeding money. Well, what's more likely is that this massive depression, my god, I've never seen such a big depression in this game, is causing all of this. It's alright, won't stop Penultimo from asking me for all my money. The governments are all making dosh. The global stock market is not meant to be impacted by the performance of the cities in the game. It's meant to be disjointed, but it seems a little too correlated. Alright, well, now we know the mansions do not impact it, so we're going to just... Whoa now, whoa now. I will pause the game to demolish these. But I'm going to buy that land back. Right, I'm low on ideas. One thing that we have mentioned that we could do is spam a lot of commercial buildings. I don't like that idea for a lot of reasons, because they're not particularly useful to us. But needs must, I suppose? May as well spend your money to strap a rocket to the Earth and steer it straight to the sun at this point. Yeah, I don't think the world in general is a very happy place with me at the helm right now. But it is a very, very profitable place. What kind of person can earn these kinds of profits during immense GDP shrinkage? Riddle me that. Alright, are we going to try just building a ton of... Oh, right, I didn't consider other government buildings. But I like that even less, because then the government has to pay for them. And the whole point of this is to make sure that the government is also profitable. I don't think any of that's going to help. The thing is, GDP is shrinking because you have all the money. Yeah, so I guess what we have is a liquidity crisis. Too bad, as long as I have all the money, that's okay. I really don't want to do this, but let's just try spamming this. I never imagined that unemployment would be my my undoing here, just being able to control it. Although the alternative is just don't care about unemployment. If I just let unemployment grow massively, then I just need to make sure that everything else is so good that it still nets me a net positive on people migrating here. Surely there's only so bad things can get with massive unemployment, and it seems like a bit of a pain to constantly be worrying about it. But it will drop real wage rate. And it in fact impacts other things here. Yeah, if I could reduce the work week, that'd be nice. Then more people would need to be working. They still need to be paid one way or another, though. Some of the governments are making a slight loss now, probably because of the horrible depression, if I had to guess. However, the quality of life doesn't seem that bad, does it? Now that they have their safety, culture, sports, education, and health, Vancouver seems to be alright. Maybe I should just embrace the unemployment. As long as people are consuming. I do wish that education was better. Why are they so poo-pooing on their education? I thought I built all those gorillions of grade schools. Yeah, in fact we're not even paying for all of them. There's not enough museums. I think that's impacting culture, though. Even so, the culture's really high there. Libraries, museums, and city halls, nice and high. Middle school, good. High school, good. Although, they do seem to want one more high school. What am I trying to do here? Civic building, one more high school. What in the world is going on with my insurance company? Just so many people taking out their insurance money. There you go, there's a fat stack of cash to cover all those premiums. 6% unemployment isn't that bad, is it? Oh, it'll get a lot worse. Especially if the population continues to grow. Which is what I'm hoping that it does. This bothers me a bit, though. Emigrants are slightly higher than immigrants in Vancouver. We get more coming into Sydney, Toulouse. Chengdu is a little bit of a loss. Grimsby is looking good, but that's correlating with people that have jobs available. Look at that, Chengdu's got 6% unemployment, and Chengdu is the one that's not looking good on immigrants, so maybe unemployment has a pretty huge impact on that. Of course, there's the social security that's causing emigration everywhere. I might just have to suck it up and pump it up to 20% that we pay these unemployed scumbags. But I need to make that money back somehow. Okay, we are not going to lose on the... Kislev has matured, and they need money. Well, that's okay. If Kislev needs a bit of dosh, I can just do them a little bit of a capital... Oh my god, I want to give them $10 billion? I can't seem to give them less than that, so here's $10 billion. Maybe that'll solve some of the liquidity problems. Oh, I can make subsidiaries. For some reason I wasn't able to earlier. Now I can. Huh. Interesting. Right. Hopefully I'll have stopped emigration problems with that. But that's going to be an ongoing cost for the governments quite a bit. They're not gonna reconsider the emigration thing? My god, just how much money do I have to pay these unemployed bums? 25%? 25% seems to be enough to stop people emigrating over it. But I need to up my tax rate to counter that. If I accept the fact that jobs and income are going to be a problem because unemployment goes through the roof, then that means individual income tax rates could probably be maxed out. Just trying to find a balance here that allows the cities to keep growing despite everything. So there we go. Immediately people want to emigrate due to that. I wonder if I could also... let's see, jobs and income is a considerably bigger thing than social security, at least. I don't want to knock down people's spending by increasing consumer tax rate by too much. When a city's consumer tax rate is too high, customer spending will decline. Weak consumer spending adversely affects the business centre. Yeah, but surely like 12% isn't going to hurt. Archibald Vile suddenly wants $1.1 billion. I should start wondering if I even need Archibald Vile anymore. I don't need a CTO. I could just get rid of him. He doesn't do anything. I don't research. Nope, you're not getting your raise. Will you accept my resignation? Yep, off you trot. Bye-bye. I still need my COO, but Archibald Vile is no longer necessary. He got too greedy there. I wasn't even going to think about whether I should keep him or lose him. I still need marketing though, so Penultimo, you're coming in. Holy moly, I'm making more money than ever before. 160 bit. Where's this money coming from? Holy crivens, what's going on here? I'm happy to be paying my taxes here, but what did I just do that made me so much money? I don't know. Insurance net assets, so they're going way up, but I'm not sure about that. Maybe all the money I shoved into my insurance company somehow counted as profit. You stopped paying Archie through the nose. Now, the internet companies aren't going to be worth much at all. We are underwriting that profit rather nicely here, to the point where I could actually transfer out a fat stack of this cash, but I have so much cash. I have got far too much cash. With that in mind, I'm actually going to shove you full of most of my cash, and since I need to put that cash to use, I'm just going to really hammer it into the global stock market, unless there's some really good bonds, but Kislev's bonds aren't worth anyone's time. It's funny that the Ravens own them. The US have a lot of treasury notes there with 2% gain, but inflation is 5%, so it still would be losing me money. No, this is what the global stock market is for. Find those people that are crashing and burning, and get behind them. So you, for example, give me a bunch of your company. I should be looking at lifetime here. Applied Materials, give me that. Because if nothing else, you're going to pay me dividends occasionally. Oh wow, well I just backed you already, didn't I? Who looks really sad? What caused this massive spike? I feel like I really missed out on buying some stuff. Oh my goodness. Chemex is real bad. Let's buy some more of that. Checkpoint. I was thinking about getting more of you, wasn't I? Let's bring you up to 5% ownership then, shall we? My god, how did some of these people spike so hard? It's not meant to correlate with the performance of your cities here. Electronic Arts don't look so hot. Does Cerberus still exist? I finally destroyed Cerberus. It was a hard fight, but I was able to take care of Serby. Let's just get these. Because yeah, if nothing else, their dividends aren't so hot. Actually, some of them have good dividend yields. I wonder if those are variable. Foster's group tends to pay great dividends. That sounds like somebody worth backing into pretty heavily. Especially while the stock is so cheap. my god, it even gets better with the Fujisawa Pharmaceuticals. Give me those sweet dividends. Maybe I can get to the point where I own all of the global stocks. Sounds like it'd be very expensive, but if I keep buying them when they're low, especially if I sell others when they're high, might be able to get somewhere with that. Oh yeah, Indie. Indie looks great here. Give me the Indie. And I've spent all my money, but I still want Inuit. Hang on, did dividend yield just go down when I bought that? Can I find something else that's cheap and compare? I feel like dividend went down on somebody that I just bought into, but maybe I was imagining things. It does happen. On that note, just how many... Yeah, I've got 445 billion global bonds tied up in my insurance company. Well, that's nice. Money's got to go somewhere. Let's keep the save going. Perfect 033. Big question is this good enough? I don't know. I didn't do public stuff sorting out for the other places. I just wanted to have Vancouver as an isolated... No! No! Oh, I made a big mistake. I didn't have this set as do not build land. Oof. And now all these companies built up their R&D centers. Somebody even built a farm. How can this be? Wait for... Oh, I can move you because I have this power, but damn. Big mistake. Big, big mistake. However, I have absurd amounts of money. What I can do is I can just go and start buying up these companies on the local stock market and tell them to buzz off. Their stock prices should be low because they haven't been doing anything. Should be low, he says. Dali State Company, for example, has way too much, but yeah, this doesn't cost anything of note, so I can just go... oops. Sell that off. I bought it with the wrong company. Should be buying it with myself here. I don't really care what they try and charge me here. The billions are of little concern. Give me that, and for God's sake, get rid of that. What else did Dali State Company dare to have? They got some R&D here. Not anymore, you don't. And then you've got your cursed news publishing place. Get rid of that. That belongs to me. Yeah, that was a rookie mistake here. Should never let the AI have anywhere to build on. When you have full control, don't surrender that control. Right, Dali State Company also built this convenience store. Like hell you do. And who else do we have? The West Indians. It's not the West Indian, who is it? I think it's the GWC, isn't it? Right, Rombic. Rombic keeps buying up these shares that... it's like he knows I want them down the line. I'm actually increasing the stock value of everything he has by buying it off of him in a bit of a twisted logic. Maybe I shouldn't be buying it off of you when I could... Well, hell, just... Gimme. I don't care about the price. I make people rich. Plus, might solve a bit of the liquidity crisis if I keep pouring my money out like this. I don't want to sell my stock to you. People seldom do. There we go. I'm just throwing my money against the wall so that I can get rid of these offending buildings on my border here. So with that, you can just go away. Don't you own some other stuff, GWC? Corporate details, GWC firms. Yeah, you own an R&D center. And I think I want this R&D center because it's making really good cheese. So you are going to transfer this firm over to me, and the tech gain is not going to be quite so good, but at least I can relocate this firm over to a more desirable location, which is here. And that cheese stuff is mine. You can have this firm. Might boost up their abilities. Might. They might also try and leave. Still, at least I'll finally be able to get some good cheese going. Alright, who else was over there in Vancouver? It was such a variety of places, that's what makes it more bothersome. The R&D centres are no big deal. Wait, that's Kislev, that's my... Why does Kislev have something? I told them not to build. Also, my insurance company is... Where did it lose $10 billion? What? Please stop losing money. I know I have damn near bottomless amounts of it. Alright, what are you doing here? Get out of here. And whilst we're at it, we need to talk to you about your expansion projects. You're not allowed to expand in anything. I don't know how you managed to. Oh, probably because... No, you don't have an expertise in it. Interesting. Alright. Kislev. I thought this was Kislev's stuff. Okay, whose is that then? Whose land is this? Yeah, selling my subsidiary's land. My subsidiary is not allowed to own land. At this point, just taking over because of pettiness. They're not allowed to own these things. It's okay though, it's good to be petty. There's some kind of FTL enterprise here, which I already own a significant amount of, and Shadow is... Oh... I think because Prome has some of it. Prome needs to sell that stock. And that way I can buy that stock. And I'm just going to buy the rest of this, making Shadow an even richer individual. This is so sad. This is just a mistake that I've made. And I'm not even worried about the money it's costing me. I just don't like the fact that I made such a rookie mistake. Get rid of it all. Get rid of that land. And I want to make absolutely sure it's set to do not build on. Then there's problems like this, but no, that's also set to do not build on. Ah, well. I guess these R&D centres aren't of huge concern, but I still don't like them being there. Who's the big blue blob? Big blue blob is entirely owned by Sinaj. Are they a private corporation? They're not, it's just that Sinaj owns everything. Well, lucky you, Sinaj, you're about to become a very rich individual. I want... Oh, he refuses to sell stock. Tell me, do you have any income? Because this stuff is just going to cost you money. Actually, they have absurd amounts of money. Ugh. Oh well, they can always be destroyed at a later date. WarioWare exists. Their stock price will go down and down because of this. They don't really make any money of this unless somebody buys their tech off of them, which maybe eventually they will. And who's this then? The Wait, I thought the Ratte merchants existed before. Did they somehow come back into existence? And somehow their stock price is doing very well. And then there's Krista Enterprises. And I'm not sure I care that much about you guys, although I already have a bunch of you, so I could just go make Shadow a very rich individual again. FTL. Sell your stock. I will buy it up. Now why that's something you have to do, I don't think I'll ever truly understand. There we go, that's marginally better. Right, back to it. Let's make sure all the governments are profitable. Not only are they profitable, they're sitting on loads of money. House Televani and Pa have just merged. Doesn't seem like a problem for me. Right. Unemployment, real wage rate's going to drop. I anticipate that. But what I really need is a way for this population to grow. Well, that's been the whole thing on this. Marble found. Marble's not an issue. Killed so many companies it's recycling names. Since you have so much money, why not purchase a little land just to spend some? It's a lot of clicking to purchase land. It's a lot easier to just designate land that can and cannot be built on. Oh, well, speaking of ways to spend our money, they finally went public. The last company from the very start. The Bolshevik Ravens. Bolshevik? Bolverk? Bolverk's Ravens. Their stock price is ridiculous for a company that just has 5 telecommunication towers. However, they have a lot of securities, don't they? Actually, not that much. They've barely got any bonds, and many of them are from Kislev, which, to be fair, are at a good rate for a long time. You're still going to have to go, though. That means I come over here, I find the Ravens. Here are the Ravens. Oh my god, that price. Well, at least I can buy this stuff, which is immediately available. And I shouldn't be too worried. This is just billions. Pepsi Man and Jangbo, please give me these disgustingly expensive shares. This is enough to make a man cry, the billions I'm spending on these people. There we go, and I need to spend even more many billions and then merge the company. Just accept the fact that I'm throwing away about a year's worth of income from my company for little good reason. There we go, 30 billion to merge, because I've inflated the price so high, higher than it would ever really deserve to be. I'll just take it, just give me that company. Well, you mean I don't have enough cash? Oh Christ, I'm looking at the... I was looking at the city's money, not my money. Okay, you're spared for now, Ravens. But I'm going to go to you, and I'm going to tell you not to do anything. Nothing at all. Well, that stuff doesn't matter, but disable all of that. On top of that, I'm going to go to the Ravens. I'm going to check all of their firms in every city, and I'm going to transfer it to me, not your headquarters. I can't take your mansion, but this will be transferred to me. This will be transferred to me. Pretty cool with 75% of the company can just take over all their stuff. Give that to me, and give that to me, and give that to me. Interestingly, since I've taken everything they own, they're a company that doesn't have anything. So what I could actually do is sell all this stock and wait for them to crash and burn. They have a lot of cash on hand, that is true. But if I just sold all my stock at that fat stack of cash that I paid for it rating, which is over the amount that it's worth, but still, their own securities aren't worth that much. I reckon their stock price would collapse. And they truly don't have much else. Maybe I should destroy their headquarters, though. Can I even do that? Well, that's getting out of the way. They'll still have money and they can still invest in other things, but at least I'll be able to make some of that excessive cost back. There we go. Let's try it then. Stock market, the Ravens. This is what I own in them, so I can just sell, sell, sell. It's gonna make their price collapse though. So I've lost control over them. But they as a company cannot do anything other than trade in stocks. So that's not a big deal. Not to me at least. Dale Gribble now wants 1.5 billion. Dale Gribble's done everything for us. I might as well give him that raise. Right, this all seems rather agreeable. My god, how is my money still going up? Where the heck is this money coming from? How do I have this 1.85 billion operating revenue? Don't understand. Insurance net assets is accounting for 200 billion or so. Insurance net assets. Wow. I mean, this isn't going up that hard, but the profit sure is. Holy macaroni. It's making me all hot under the collar to think about. But the question is that coming in from underwriting profits, or is that coming in from the stock stuff that I'm making? Ah, it's investment income. So the sheer amount that we've invested in the global stock market is, I would reckon, paying us fat dividends, or it's looking at the value of the things we have invested in. Might as well check. Okay, some of these are looking really good. It's looking at 80 billion gains here. IKB is doing well. Electronic Arts have bounced back. Maybe that's what it's looking at. With stuff like that, I should certainly be selling out. So what do I have that bounced back like crazy? Electronic Arts in a big way. Oh, but they could bounce back more. Come on, why be greedy when we can be ultra greedy? What's the big one here though? Depfa Bank. Oh, come on, they can bounce back a lot more than that, surely. Yeah. I only want to sell them when they're super mooning here. Yeah, Reset doesn't have enough spreadsheets. One good spreadsheet and you can do everything you need to do in Reset, or Reset here. Although maybe you're getting at something different altogether. God, waiting list for this bank. When there's all these banks down the whole street, how can this be? Right, I want to double check that the other corporations aren't making way too many firms. A few R&D centers here and there is nothing to worry about. This shows that I didn't make other further mistakes, which is good. Okay. Vancouver remains my test subject here. That population isn't going up though, it's always been 1.69 million. I'm finding it pretty hard to balance this out. Although I am liking that money coming in. Also, New Man in Charge tells us that we might be digging ourselves out of this depression at long last. It's expansion phase in Sydney, which is good to see. What am I missing here? There's a magic bullet for this that I am not seeing. And maybe it is creating lots of crappy jobs just to bring people in. Here you go, Penultimo. If I had a lot of jobs created, even if they were junk jobs, that would boost up this rating, and the overall quality of life would then be very high. There's also the consideration that it's... Let's see, how's the government doing? The government is making silly money in all places. I could just try raising unemployment benefits everywhere. Taxes are already about as high as I can reasonably make them. How much do people care? People don't care about Social Security that much, though. How much does it cost us in terms of income? Income statement, Vancouver, for example. Unemployment benefits are quite low. Maybe I could try that. Maybe screwing the unemployed isn't always the right answer. Let's jack it up to Supermax and see what happens. Freaking insurance company, just take my money and stop complaining. Well, Social Security's certainly perking up. Yeah, we've gone full Finland here. You don't need to work, we'll just pay you to exist. This jobs and income thing is severely bringing down quality of life, though. How's that working for the income statements? Oh yeah, those unemployment benefits just cost me a lot more money. Oil deposit discovered in Toulouse, that's not a big deal. Is that enough to bring in immigrants though? No, still lots of emigration going on. I wonder if you just need to have the jobs. Maybe no jobs, no immigration. Should we try it then? Running out of other things to try. The only way I can really see to bring in the jobs here, or the most reasonable way, is to build up a lot more of these commercial buildings, which regrettably make me a loss. I would need such an unreal amount of them, though. Imagine how bad your city must be if people still emigrate with 100% benefits. And that's exactly what it is. This policy for unemployment is pay rate of unemployment as a percentage of reference salary. Well, the reference salary is whatever that is. I don't think I put actual numbers on it. But you make the average living wage for free living in Vancouver, and people still want to leave. What else can be done? Not sure I can take much out of this. Facilities are largely amazing. What isn't amazing? The police stations, middle school. I thought I built a Brazilian middle schools here in Vancouver. Maybe that's what's bringing down the education. Yeah, the education could be higher. I thought I had the middle school. No, I didn't. I never built up those middle schools. I probably went, oh, I don't want to build all those middle schools and left it at that. But maybe I just need to bite that bullet, so to speak. I hate these people being in the way. They've got to go. A big blue blob. Yeah. And WarioWare. Alright, middle school. I need a lot more of them. So. I had 8, and it was about a third of the demand for it. So, wait, middle schools are 3x3 buildings. So they can go over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A bit of a lag on these. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Is there an increase to environmental you can improve? Nope. The environment is crappy because there's pollution everywhere, because I have this mess of factories. My god, these people want insane amounts of money off of me. We're not that profitable. $300 million? What? Where's all this money coming from? Where is this coming from? I guess the insurance net profit? Talk to me, insurance company. What the heck what magic are you pulling here? The total profit appears to be staying up there. And that appears to be coming in from invest. Okay, well, if those investments ever sink, that's going to be bad news for us, I suppose. Some of them are looking so good. Yeah, it's probably this. It's counting all of that. Which means I should probably be cashing out with all of my stuff supermooning right now. Crazy that it's all going up as much as it is. But I want those dividend yields. You know how it is. Oh yeah, now this is sell time, surely. The tricky thing is I'm going to be sitting on lots of money and not really be sure what to do with it. Problem is, you shouldn't cash out too hard or it will crash. Yeah, but maybe that's the whole thing. If I cash out everything and it all crashes, then we just buy back in when it's low and we just keep riding the dips. The only downside is that's a lot of work. Yeah, oh man, a lot of this stuff. See, I bought all these dips and now they're all just coming true for me. This is someone's dream come true. I can feel it. Okay, who else is looking good? Sumimoto is way up. And yeah, the depth of bank went way up. I'm running out of things to be putting this money back into, though. Actually, maybe if I just sell everything. Everything I've got, and maybe we'll just watch another crash. Because just about everything I've done here has made the big money. Barlow World didn't for some reason. Says this is a loss for me. I don't believe it. I refuse to believe it. What's left to be done? Don't you basically own everything? That's the question I'm starting to ask myself here, Baron. We have so much money and so much power. The one thing I wanted to really do was fill up these cities in total, but I'm starting to wonder if that's even feasible. The immigration rates don't seem to be... Well, maybe not. Maybe I don't have enough knowledge for it, but it doesn't feel like I have enough control over these. I'm going to keep that because that's pretty low. Same with that. For the rest of these guys made me decent money. Okay, now you have way too much money, so give me that. Now let's see if there's a big crash coming in. Sell everything, take out everything, let the insurance go bankrupt, make new one, rinse and repeat. Yeah, okay, we've almost hit $1 trillion in just straight up money that we have, which is unreal. Now I'm a little curious if some of these guys are just going to sink, or if they're just going to truly supermoon. It's going to be very sad for me if they do just continue to supermoon, though, because then I'll have bought out or sold out too early. That's how it goes sometimes. Got to remember that with this inflation rate, my money here is actively burning. I'm losing like $25 billion every year to inflation. Which, as we were told before, is exactly why you should consider government stocks. Man, Grimsby makes big money in government as well. There's so much money, I think I've broken most of the systems here. It's just that last question of how to bring in immigrants to Vancouver. That employment, that education rating should be sky high though. I'm surprised that it's not. I've got all these middle schools filling demand. High schools have demand filled. Grade school, demand filled. University, demand almost filled. They kind of want another university. And I'm not sure I want to give it to them. Not for that tiny amount. But even with that, quality of life is really grim because of jobs and income. Maybe things that are... Maybe it even goes negative under the bonnet here. Or maybe it just has such a huge impact compared to everything else. Let's give it a go. Let's see what we can do if we just make junk jobs, shall we? So... Let's say that I can use all this land. Thank you, Daddy Government. It's all a sham. We are the government. Let's buy what we can here before anyone gets some silly ideas. And let's create some junk jobs in Vancouver. So, if someone could take note, there's 4.63% unemployment, with 1.69 million people in Vancouver. If it goes down to 2%, we know we've hit the bottom here. So, commercial buildings, and this is going to look ugly. Ah, can't do it at the very top for some reason. I don't know how many jobs each of these take up. And I already regret doing the closer ones first because it makes it harder to see where to put the back ones. Build a bunch of hotels, they have loads of crummy jobs out in Vancouver. Who would want to come to Vancouver and stay in a hotel? That implies you've gone over there for some kind of holiday, or maybe a business trip. I've never been to Vancouver, hell I've never been to Canada. Not something I'm looking to correct anytime soon, because I hate Canadians so much it's unreal. So don't take my word on how good Vancouver is or isn't, take it from one of our residential Canadians here. So these buildings are sadly going to be very unprofitable for me. So I missed a few spots there. But maybe they'll end up being profitable in the way that they bring in more people to live here who will consume. Now, what can I say, Baron? That Canadian guy in Mass Effect tipped me over. Well, that seemed to have worked. It certainly reduced the unemployment rate. Even so, jobs and income... Individual income tax rate is hurting this one a lot, though. So I might be able to go over to individual income tax rate and drop it hugely. Wow, that boosts up the quality of life like nobody's business. Pardon me. Don't know if that sneeze went through on RTX voice. What if we have something a bit more reasonable? 10% still leaves it pretty maxed out. Does it still make the city profitable? Yeah, it doesn't look very profitable. It was a $500 million deficit last month. What about the month after? Oh, well, looks better now already. Still, there aren't that many people to pay unemployment benefits to, so it's okay. I also got to keep in mind that the losses I make here are going to take away from my taxes that I have to pay on scrub tubes, so it's not that bad that it's so unprofitable for me. But the question remains, can we still bring in people as immigrants? My god, this money is unreal. It can't even reasonably be coming in from insurance now, can it? Look at that insurance net profit go regardless. This is unbelievable. Right, city, Vancouver, graph. We got it. We got it. We just need the junk jobs. Yet the junk jobs make up for the people who hate the crummy environment. Although the people coming in are already causing unemployment. So just how many junk jobs do you need to build? You would just end up with an ocean of these. Although, look at that, they actually have a reasonable occupancy rate. Did they take away from people over here? Because at an occupancy rate like that, they almost make me money. Then I just need to build a Brazilian of them. Could this really be the secret to what I'm trying to do here? I didn't think there'd be this much office building in the game, truly. I thought it would be a lot more housing and stuff, and I could just jam them in. Alright then. Let's try it again. Unemployment largely solved. I'm not expanding this to the other cities though, just in case there's some unforeseen consequence here that's beyond us. So let's hide that away, hopefully. Make it go a bit smoother. Hey, you know what? I have autoclicker.exe for this. Spare me the RSI, please. There we go. Now I can just click and drag. I got it set to 10 clicks a second. That's interesting. So are they all going to fill up with people then? Maybe these things can soak up unemployment better than I thought. It's not very well explained exactly how these commercial buildings work. You just build them, and if there's a demand for them, people move in and you get money for it. But they don't seem to be that in demand. But even with such a few people coming in, I can set the price for them to be pretty high. Oh, that's cool. I mean, maybe not that cool, but I was able to build this without road access. Sadly, I can't move them, I just have to demolish them. Well, that goes by something I was pretty sure of. This game doesn't check a lot of logic outside of GUI, which is a dangerous thing. Caused a lot of exploits in Europa Universalis, which I fondly remember. Things like rapidly clicking on, for example... What can I build here? Oh, Christ, you're in the way again. Rapidly clicking on... What was a good example? Getting money from the papacy, back when that was the thing you could do. Just raw money. The check was only on the GUI. What do you mean the land isn't available? Surely it's available. Give me that land. Oh, something has happened to this land to make it unavailable for some reason. Well, it's no skin off my nose. Yeah, so if you have the logic only check for the GUI, if you do something that breaks the GUI, it still allows the action to go through, and that's what happened there. is why autoclicker.exe has been a big boon to me for a very long time. Because rather than just having to click fast, I can just set it to click a certain amount of times per second, and Bob's your uncle. Give me this land as well, just in case someone tries to grab that. Alright, let's see how this works. God, what a hellscape, and it's only getting worse. So that should kill the unemployment rate. I go away for 30 minutes and come back, and it becomes even more dystopian than before. What on earth is that? This is an answer to the unemployment question of Vancouver. Excellent. Of course, the question is, are people actually going to move into them? And that I'm not so sure about. Rent attractiveness ain't great, but the commuting convenience is through the roof. There are residential buildings nearby, and the commuting distance is short. And the CBD is quite close as well. So there's no unemployment issues here. And although these places don't all make me a profit, at least that lack of profit can be written off as tax-free, or reducing my taxes. And that'll allow Vancouver's population to grow, and Vancouver to have the greatest quality of life in the world. Stop taking all my money, guys. Yeah, Vancouver is far and away the best city to live in. They still complain about the education, and I don't know why. Apparently my high schools are still not good enough. I thought I built a load of high schools. No, these are middle schools. Didn't I build a load of high schools? Not enough, it seems. I could have sworn I built loads of high schools. Well. Let's get rid of these roads that are just getting in my way. And then make roads on our own terms. 1, 2, 3, and out you come. And these roads are in the way, of course. Get these scumbags out of the way. They don't deserve to live here. Not in my perfect Vancouver. 2, 3. What the heck? Oh, this is Demolish Road. I was wondering why it was able to draw a square like that. Alright, let's stop people moaning about the crummy education around here. Who are we kidding? People will always moan about crummy education. And then I probably need about 8 high schools or so. That's a funny thing. I could have sworn I'd built loads of high schools already. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, why not? That should be all the high schooling they could ever need, and somehow Vancouver is still hugely profitable despite paying people to live. Insurance company continuing to complain about lack of money. Here you go. It's not like I'm low on dosh myself. It's a difficult question, Marvin. Not sure I have the answer to it just yet. Okay, so this hellscape seems to work pretty well for us. With that, I would expect education to rise. It should even hit 99 or so, like the others. Yeah, just as these people get more training and such. The money my execs demand off me is just ridiculous. Okay. And how about that population? It's swelling up. It's gone up 100,000 since before, and the unemployment rate is still perfectly salvageable. Why would they run out of money? Well, the government's money situation was something that was quite concerning to me, because if the government couldn't turn a profit, then this would be pretty brutal for me. Because they would go bankrupt, there'd be recession, I'd lose control. I don't know if government going bankrupt is part of a cause of recession, but I wasn't willing to take the risk. But it looks like we've got a pretty good policy thing set up here. So, a low but still existing individual income tax rate to raise the quality of life for jobs and income. And that's really good. A middling consumer tax rate to help the government make more money without impacting the amount that people are willing to spend. Maximum corporation tax, because I make ridiculous money anyway. Maxed out employment benefits. Because if we keep a low amount of people unemployed, that's not really a lot of people to actually pay. You can see from the income statement here, unemployment benefits are less than we spend on sports and recreation. So that's a tiny amount. Alright. That's good. That is very good even. That said though, I'm not sure I'm going to get a kick out of filling up the whole map with this hellscape, because it's just going to be making more money to add to my bigger piles of more money. So I think we're going to reach the 1 trillion mark, see what it says here on the map, and then call it there for Capitalism Lab. I'm pretty satisfied with this level of perfection. We do everything, and we make everything, and we control everything. So everything else that could be built up higher is fully scalable here. It would just be a lot of building up to make more of it with no real end in sight. So we'll hit that trillion and call it there. I want to see what it says down here when you hit a trillion though. Gotta merge that last company. There are still companies out there, to be fair, but they can't do anything. They actually just cannot do anything. They can't produce, they can't sell. All they can reasonably do is do stock. Oh, there's a thought. See, I ruined the Ravens. How are the Ravens performing now? Here's the Raven. Well, they still have a reasonable stock graph here. But all they do is lose money. How did they get that net worth, though? Did they buy securities? They have no local stocks, no global stocks, and only 287 million worth of bonds. So it's a mystery to me how the Ravens can claim to have that that kind of stock price. I'm still glad I sold it when I did, though. You've upgraded to Monopoly Lab. It could get to the point where my COO and my CMO just keep demanding so much money that I can't keep up with that. Let's see, still keeping that unemployment rate at 2% for Vancouver? Yeah, so this is the answer. I was actually surprised that this ended up being the answer, but looks like you can just spam these. And the occupancy rate is going up. In fact, these are profitable. Whoa, we solved this in an even better way than I thought. Not only have we solved the unemployment rate, but we are actually able to do it profitably. Because these do swallow up the unemployed in terms of making them work. Oh, see, I like that. I like that a lot. I already thought I was building too many commercial buildings when I did this pattern here in the center where it was apartment, commercial, apartment, commercial. But no, this is the answer. What a horrible place to exist. And this is even worse than downtown San Francisco. And that is my idea of a hellscape. See, I was under the impression that when a city tells you that there is this, supply and demand for office space 570, anything positive means that there's too much office space. But it's a lie. They want office space. Look at it. All these ones I have here are half full. It's unreal. And if it's half full, that is profitable. Especially when you go over to your... why do I pay public relations? Yeah, why not? It's not real money anyway. Real estate. I set it to 125%. That is decent profit right there. Alright. There we go. $1 trillion. I could buy several countries with this money, I think. On top of that, every single government is hugely profitable. People are happy and immigrating. We produce everything. We dominate everything. Better make sure on that one so we actually have a conclusion here. Where am I looking for that? Corporate details. Us. Might as well just do an overview altogether then, but I really want to make sure that that dominance is ours. Otherwise it will be a lie. So we dominate manufacturing, farming, raw materials, real estate, media, software, internet, telecom, bank. Complete 100%. In fact, is there anything that's not 100% here? Strangely enough, there's brandy. Is that because I don't produce enough brandy? Tell me more. No, it's not. Actually, why in the world don't you take all my brandy? Ah, right, I know exactly why. And this is a problem that we've solved in time. Vancouver's real wage rate means that some people might not be able to afford some of the goods that are being produced, but as the real wage rate increases, they will, so I'm not too worried about that percentage. That would balance out. Yeah, I'm playing Hoi 4 after this friendly computer. I'll get to that in a wee bit. Anyway, back to patting myself on the back for my dominance. Oh, it's just sweet. First, and damn near, well, not damn near everything, absolutely everything. Oh, it's a treat to see, an absolute treat to see. I saw that in the public water, and the gasoline fuel, the e-commerce price is too high. But again, Vancouver will sort that out when Vancouver actually upgrades to upgrades from a developing city. Well, undeniably top dog in everything. Rankings, on the other hand, I'm not top dog. I don't have the best return on equity. I don't actually know what that means, but I suspect it's just, well, actually I have no idea what it means, but it's probably okay that we're not top dog there. Not the best dividend yield, because I have it set to 0. Stock return on investors negative. Good. I hate these parasites having my company. Our margins are amazing. Net profit margin. Inventory turnover, I don't really know what that means. It's all just damn good. Nothing to be said for advertising. Sort by city. Double click on an advertising record. Well, we don't have any of those going, do we? And that crazy income. I love seeing all these sheets. This is happy things for me to look at. Right, so what is profitable for us in terms of products that we put out? Because we've certainly put out a lot of them. Anything with a reasonable bump up here is pretty high. So we got cars. Can I sort here? No, I can't sort. Cars make us the damn good money. Computer operating system. Remember, our initial thing with our perfect operating system was that we were the budget god-awful version. It took a lot of investment for us to become better, and then we eventually just destroyed the competition by absorbing his company, stopping his production of an OS, and then demolishing him. And that's how we became the best. Computers and software, anything digital and electronic tends to make some decent dosh. Dress pants, surprisingly profitable there. Energy contracts. We make a loss on engines, which is funny. Engines are a bane, but that's okay. They're not for selling, they're for using. I imagine a future run would have to involve a lot more challenge, says Harundi. Jake's been in sandbox mode for a long time here. It's hard to keep the game challenging. We gave the AI loads of advantages over us, including about 10 times the amount of starting capital and an enormous tech advantage, and it still wasn't enough. The thing about this game is that money just keeps begetting money. But it's kind of like asking for Patrician 4 to be a challenging experience. It's not. The challenge is just becoming a lot richer as fast as you can. Glasses, what here makes the truly big money? There we go, notebook computers. People love the notebooks. Profit margin of about 100%, and just the sheer amount of them at the sheer price is making the big bucks. Is there anything that comes even close to that? Smartphones, how true to life. Tablet computers, televisions, again. Electronic gadgets, they sell for the good money. And these numbers will just keep going up and up and up as the population increases, and now that we've found a profitable way to employ people and to keep the government profitable, there's really no end to it other than just jamming as many people into the cities as possible. But I don't think I want to sit through the dozens of hours of Speed 5 it would take to be cramming everybody in for that, so I'm more than happy to call it here. Any graphs of note? Just graphs that say, we are really good. I wonder what happened here. I think this is when e-commerce took off and our revenue started going way high. But it might also have been when I merged in all the banks and the insurance companies. No, given the timing, I bet this is when I went and built all the factories everywhere. E-commerce took over that, I'm quite certain. We weren't always net in the profit though, but I think these are recession times where the bank really faltered. Our net worth though, 1.6 trillion. He loves to see it. Stock price is a bit of a weird one though, because your stock price doesn't matter all that much. You can artificially inflate it by reducing the amount of shares that you have. What's more important is just this bar, this graph, because this graph will not care about how much you expand or contract your number of stocks, it still shows it relative to previous amounts. Operational profit is lovely. I have shareholders. I don't like that, but they don't do any harm. Honestly, I could have sold out more of the company for more money to propel myself forward with, and that would have been a smart thing to do. I'm just so allergic to the idea of people owning parts of my company. As for the securities we own, it doesn't show up here very much because it's done through our insurance company largely. How far back does this history go? Wow, it stores the entire history. I'm impressed. Paradox couldn't hold a candle to this. It takes it all the way back to the very first farm and warehouse we set up on January the 1st, 1990. Every single thing for every company. Wow, this game just keeps impressing me the more I see it. We can see Roller Coaster. Jock Dongle joining in as Roller Coaster Tycoon's CEO. Owning even 0.5% of the biggest company in the world will make you filthy, filthy rich, says Darth there. Yeah, I'm a bit annoyed that I've made some people that filthy rich, but what matters is we are the filthiest and the richest. Look, Zhang Bao has not even been involved with my company. I've just had to buy so many shares off of him that he's become the second richest person in all of these cities. Dale Gribble is only the whatever richest here, but he's the 39th richest person in existence. No surprise, Penultimo is also really rich. I'm glad I've kicked Archibald Vial off of here, though, because I stopped paying him after he got a bit too greedy with the money. Fat Miner is the second most influential character in existence, but we are the absolute richest. Jiang Bao, Rhombic, Pepsi, and Shadow, amongst the other people that their wealth doesn't change. You just have a defined list of the wealthiest people, and I shoved in various supporters of the channel on here, even JJ. Okay, is there anything anybody wants to look at this before we call it a day on the Capitalism Lab long play? I'm pretty satisfied. I think I've managed to get this game out of my system now. I wouldn't say I've got this game all figured out, but I think I've got a functional knowledge of the game, and I intend on putting it into some sort of guide, because when I first picked up this game I was perturbed at how little there was in the way of guides for this game. Because even when I did the tutorial and I understood mechanically what to do, I still fired up a game and went, alright, what actions do I take? I want to make money. Do I make a store? Where do I get my goods from? What's the importance of Seaport? What can I do with farm? It took a lot of poking at the game to suss it all out, and now I think I've got it reasonably sussed out enough to make a guide for others, so I intend on doing that. Functional knowledge, by far the richest person. By a very long way, the richest person. Exactly how rich did you make Archibald Vial? We can actually look at persons in general, and can we sort them by wealth? We can. So these are all the people in existence within our cities. We'll sort them by wealth. Naturally, yours truly is at the top. Interestingly enough, in terms of raw cash, Zhang Bao is far richer than I, but, well, cash is not wealth. His cash will die to the increasing inflation rate, whereas my stocks, my $3.1 trillion of stocks, ensure that I am richer than you, as Morshu would say. Rhombic's in there with a 91 billion. Pepsi Man, another billionaire. Shadow, Reste, Dale, Penultimo, Oppo, Marvin Branagh. Can't believe he made out like a... there's Archibald Vial. So he's got those stocks in my company, which disgusts me, but even if I bought them off of him, he'd be making more of that in raw cash. Naked Scotsman, Spengler, Kaiser, Bane, we're starting to really come down. Now people are only in the digits of billions, not the tens of billions. What's that, like 10% of the entire GDP of the world? I doubt it. Come on, this is just what Sydney, Toulouse, Grimsby, Vancouver, and the other place can throw together. Carto, I didn't even see you there, Carto, but you're the CEO of Tinner and Tinner. Zhang He, Kubos, Pandy, the Snake, the Rat, running out of billionaires here. Double J, Doc Marsonge, Yuan Shao, my favourite character out of... Oh, if you pan the map, it resets the list. Yeah, Yuan Shao, probably my favourite character in the Three Kingdoms. Even Jock Dongle coming along with 1 billion. Landuck, Phobos. Oh, getting tight on the billions here. JC, Orbulon, Unitech, Minette. Nick freaking Brick. No stocks, just a fat lot of cash as an independent investor. Emperor Zerg, Valentinas. And Purple Tentacle's the last one to just barely squeak into the billionaires club here. It turns out there was a stopping of Jimmy Hopkins. Urangu. Well, these people don't even deserve to be mentioned. They're way too poor to even care about. Heldon is way too poor to care about. CEO of his ruptured farms. That doesn't sound very pleasant for anybody. Nobody's in the negative here, although I don't know how any individual can actually end up with negative money in this. No, I can't think of any way that could be done. Your stocks are only ever going to be worth 0, and companies go bankrupt, but people don't. Regardless, though, the people who are incredibly poor are Giant Nerd Carter, Kaladin, and Lipips. I'm sure they might have dozens of billions of dollars, but inflation rate will just destroy all of that. Okay, I think we're done here. That was a great run. I had a lot of fun with this game. And I'm not saying I'll never come back to it. I likely will. They're working on some new expansions for it. Expansions plural, as if I knew that. I know that there is one expansion coming. I don't know a lot of details on it, but it should involve real estate? Hopefully. I haven't actually read up on that, but I anticipate it, and we'll probably come crawling back to this when that is out. But until it comes out, we're going to put a fork in this, because it is done. So what are we going to do? Perfect. No, well, not with caps lock on. Perfect. Stream end. Because there's little else to do in this. Okay, what's our timer looking like right now? I'll be back with Hearts of Iron in about an hour. That'll give me time to go and get some din-dins, make sure the game is all up and running well and good with it. I'll be playing as Communist Sweden. Have very low expectations because I have not played Hearts of Iron in many years, but I really want to get back into the game, and that's going to start this evening. So until I'm back with that at, what's that going to be, 6 PM European time? Yeah, about then. It is a cheers from all of us in the perfect world, and cheerio.